What do you think? What would be the big intro for him?
I can't. This is my friend for real. So it's like I don't know how to intro. Like,
well, do it live. Just B.Dot. Hey.
Right? Like,
all right, cool. Here we are.
Yeah.
Here's B.Dot.
It's B.Dot, right?
That's it.
That's it. We going.
We're here.
Yeah. So I mean.
Is it action? Is it like a
here we go. That's it.
We already going.
Oh, okay, let's do it then.
Because you know what it is though. Like I don't know how to like. As long as I've been doing this, I still haven't mastered the art of. Hey, so today we've got Reppin from Southside Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, nah, B.Dot, what's good?
Up,
man? We have B.Dot here today.
Yeah,
there you go.
Hi.
Right? We don't have sound effects.
No
None
sound
of that
effects?
shit.
No.
I don't have none of that.
I'll add
shit.
Snap your
one.
fingers.
What sound effect would you want me to add for
Jazz hands. I don't know. We could do hand claps.
you? Hand claps. All right, we'll do
Or
it.
like a Don DeMarco drop would be cool.
Don DeMarco would be hot.
All right, we'll
You
do
ever
it.
notice that Don, he hashtags that in everybody?
I mean,
comments. Yo, Don DeMarco, shout out to my nigga Don DeMarco, but he does that in everybody comments. It'd be the most random shit. Like it could be like a you could be on. I've been passing by Shade Room,
Yeah.
and it could be some shit about like a kid that's 15 that graduated college, and this nigga would hashtag Don DeMarco. And
Don DeMarco.
You know what that means. So it's
Yeah.
it's significant. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. How are you, my brother?
This is like my first time seeing you this all year.
Yeah, when
right?
the last time I saw you?
Damn.
Like post COVID.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you post-COVID.
I haven't seen you.
Nah.
But you know what the funny thing about it is that me and him, we talk enough to where it doesn't feel like I haven't seen him.
That's technology for you,
That's
right?
technology. Yeah, it doesn't feel that way. But yo, I want to talk about first and foremost. Yo, this nigga came in.
This guy's special.
So when he walked in, I was like, oh shit, my nigga bought me a pair of sneaks. It's like, you see, me and B.Dot wear like almost the same size. So it's like, when you see somebody with a box of sneaks, you like, oh shit, we lit.
Gifts.
Yo, B.Dot came in here, y'all. For everybody who's not watching, he came in here and just listened. He came in here with a Jordan 1 box. So I'm like, why? He's like, oh, I changed my sneakers. Wait, explain it.
Well, I don't like New York City concrete touching my
That's
shoes.
first off mad wild. That's
Because I drive, right? But I don't
Oh.
take the subway anymore. So I just don't
Facts.
I don't like my shoes touching. The city is dirty, man.
The city's absolutely very, very dirty.
So what I do is a lot of times, like I wear slippers or beaters to my location, and then when I'm at the location,
Then
I just do my Mr. Rogers shit and just put on some new
Yeah,
shoes.
that's. I never. You know what I do think about some? Because the other night I was in Atlanta and I went to the bathroom in the hotel, and when I walked into the bathroom, like, you know what always bothers me when you go to take a piss and there's piss on the floor, like right in
man,
front of the toilet. I'm just like, ugh, you feel me? So I get that.
Yeah, like, and then, you know, I have to clean the sneakers. It's just a process. So,
Yo, he came here and really changed the sneakers.
but yeah, I'm definitely not buying those sneakers, Wayno, because you have one of everything, and I'm cheap.
I want to get in on this shit. You and Hovain. Me and Hovain was talking the other day because you posted the Cactus Jack 6s, the new shits.
Oh yeah. I had
And
to
then
pay.
Hovain came with the fucking cactus plant flea market shit, the dunks. That's like 20 bands.
True.
For the sneaks.
But listen, I'm paying like resale prices. Like, let's not even talk about sneakers, Wayno, because
No,
you
B.Dot, you not
are
gonna act like you ain't got. See, B.Dot be fronting, bro.
Shout out to the middle class, middle class
Thank you.
mafia. That's my
Middle
set.
class
Thank you.
mafia.
MCM.
Yes.
That's my, because everyone can't have the chandelier watch and stuff like Wayno. Wayno rich as fuck. FYI.
Don't act like that. Yo, come on, don't act like you came in with
FYI.
something regular on your wrist.
FYI. All I'm saying is that I'm very middle class. I'm a humble guy. Wayno is plugged up. He gets all the boxes from Nike, Foot Locker,
Shout
Foot
out to
Action, Adidas.
I just know I'm shouting them out because I'm doing a little serious.
Yeah.
So shout
I'm
out
just
to
saying,
Adidas,
but
you feel me?
listen, I'm just happy to be here. Thank you for bringing me on the show.
No, I'm happy.
Look, I'm
fan.
gonna have to agree with him real
Thank you.
quick. Let me
What?
tell you that every time before we record, I love being so. I just love starting with good energy. I'm like, yo, you want something?
Right.
Yeah.
You know. I was like, do you want any breakfast? He's like, nah. Where can I get a good bagel? I was like, oh, I don't know. There's a Dunkin' right there. He's like, nah, Dunkin' don't really cut their bagels like that. What do you want them to cut it? If it's not cut in fours, he doesn't want it.
No, bro, but nah, that's real shit though. Like, my nigga, I come from the hood. Like, so Dunkin' Donuts cuts their bagels in half like a sandwich. I'm used to having my bagel cut across and down, so you
Yeah.
got 4 pieces. That's how I've been eating my bagel since high school. So I'm just like, I don't want to eat. When you ask them to cut the bagel 2 times, they act like you asking
Yeah,
for
that's
ownership in a fucking company or some shit.
How you do your bagels? Because I'm from Queens, you're from Harlem, so
Right.
maybe we do different things.
Okay, so what's
Like-
your go-to bagel?
Well, I don't eat bagels anymore because carbs.
Okay.
Sorry.
I gotta watch my figure.
He has to watch this.
One of us does.
Right.
Yeah. No, you know, but back in the day growing up, right? I'm like a butter roll baby. You know what I'm saying? Or I used to
Toasted
be
butter roll?
toasted butter roll.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Or I used to be a salt, pepper, ketchup.
So ketchup. So I got three. I got like
guy.
three go-tos. I got like, so we was debating this as well, right? So if I get, I love a raisin bagel with cream cheese.
Yeah, I saw
but
that
it can't be
episode.
toasted because a hot bagel with cold cream cheese is fucking disgusting. Eden likes that.
Cheese.
Like he likes disgusting shit. Evidently,
Nah,
right?
that's disgusting.
I like
though, Wayno.
disgusting shit.
Nah, you disgusting because
How?
Yo, see?
when I think about bagels and
You
cream
want it
cheese,
chewy and cold, bro.
yeah, that's like when you go to get your car serviced in the morning and they got like the bagels and the little coffee there for you.
Yeah,
and
bro.
shit.
Like you don't like.
Ew.
Wait, so you? wait a second. So you eat a toasted a hot bagel with cold cream cheese,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
the cream cheese becomes like this weird ass warm type cold texture.
Yeah, so you like that continental breakfast when you go to the
Exactly.
He pros the
I
cereal
do-
like this.
So I do that, or I get like toasted raisin bagel, or toasted onion raisin, or plain bagel with butter,
I like a toasted, I like raisin in the bagels or the English muffin.
Okay.
or grill. I like what I had to learn is like the best toasting on a bagel is the grill. But you got to make sure it's one of them spots that don't put your shit next to bacon and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's
not a
right.
cipher for you.
Yeah, I don't eat.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
eat
right.
bacon. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
peace God.
You've had you I know I know you're low carb and everything, but you had apple pie before.
Of course.
Right. Now a hot slice of apple pie.
Yeah, I love it.
What would you put on top of that?
My tongue, because I'm eating that. Is that a pause?
oh, speaking of pauses, yo, he had the like. So
Why-
I
why
always
I gotta
tell
be-
I
people,
live for good pause moments.
great pause moments, bro.
Yeah, we have
so
a
he
couple.
had a great pause moment earlier today. So we was doing, other, show that we're doing this shit.
Yeah.
So he says to me, he's like, yo, I'm about to make your mic hot. That's crazy.
See, context is important though. When it comes
Context
to
is very important.
We know, I mean, we know what we're here for.
Right.
But it's still we
About
play
to make your
pause. So
mic
it's like, about to make your mic hot is crazy.
out of 5, I would get that out of 5 pauses. I'm gonna give that like a 4.
That's a
Oh wow,
strong
that's
four.
actually that's a high
That's a
high
strong
rating.
four.
That's a strong 4.
That's a strong
Strong
four.
What mic you talking about, man?
No, man. Like, pause is such a funny game, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
it's pauses that I keep in mind for some of my homies. That's like, I never let them forget. Like, never let them forget ever.
Yeah,
man.
that's how it goes. Like I've had moments and I'm like, oh, why did I say that? And
But
people
so how's your last year been, bro?
2020, how has it been? It's been uneventful because we didn't really do much.
Yeah, we ain't do shit.
Yeah.
But 2020 was like a year of just trying to figure it out and just being creative, like thinking outside of the box.
Right.
Everybody was home, so for the most part, I was just trying to figure out like what's the next step. I ain't doing an interview in like over a year, so I kind of started my own little thing on Instagram. It was called Artifacts.
Artifacts, yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, and that was something I had wanted to do when I was at MTV, but because of politics, I never could get it off the ground. And yeah, I mean, it was good though, man. I was being optimistic because I know there was light at the end of the tunnel. So
Right. I feel like politics, like, I hate when we run into politics because I always feel like I'm not a fucking politician, right? So it's like I do know how to play the game with shit, but at the same time, I'd be like, yo, why does everybody make like things so hard to get through?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's shit that's simple that we can just be done, and people try to make it jump through these hoops, or oh no, if we do something, it only has to be done this way with these type of people, or I like your idea, but let me interject and put this way. I hate that shit, bro.
as far as what goes, just in life or
well, life. I hate street politics.
right?
I think that I feel I wish that like everybody will wake up and understand that like when we talk about a lot of different street principles like that, there's no book written on. That is real. A lot of it is childish. Like I
Yeah.
see a lot of like dudes that's damn near 50, like for real, bro. Like, I see niggas like damn near 50 years old talking about like I seen somebody talk about being outside, and I'm like, no, bro.
How old was he?
This nigga had to be about like 46.
46.
Yeah, I'm 38.
I was gonna say you're not that far from.
I'm not. Yo, stop playing with me. I'm only 38, bro. Like I got a year, and I'll be 39 in December. I got a whole year after that till 40, so I got some time. But even with that being said,
so this grown man was born during Reagan's first administration,
right?
Talking about
we outside.
We outside, nigga. If you don't go file your taxes,
for real, nigga. Like if you don't go get a checkup,
nigga, go buy some Bitcoin. Get out of my face.
But that shit just like sometimes it just doesn't make sense to me as to the shit. Now, don't get me wrong, I do understand the streets, but I feel like the streets is so convoluted with this idea. It's a childish mentality and a lot of stuff. Like, cause that's when I see a lot of like dudes who are the most like I wouldn't say conscious, but like respected in the streets. Mm-hmm. Once you start to see them elevate, it's like, yeah, he might have got it late, but at the same time, he realizes that most of this shit is not really worth it.
Yeah, a lot of this shit is just bullshit at the end of the day. Like,
yeah, it's just bullshit.
That's why I like getting older.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people are like, yo, would you like to be 20-something? No, I don't want to be. I like learning. So it's like the older I get, the more I know.
I feel you.
So I love the idea of just learning and just becoming a better person, an evolved person.
I feel like when I was in my early 20s, I was kind of an idiot, bro.
Really?
Yeah. I was an idiot, bro. I felt invincible. Like, you know,
we all did.
We did, but I felt invincible because I was running around with Beanie Siegel. So like, I kind of felt like
I saw you on a Smack DVD.
I was on the very first. Shout out to Smack, bro. That's my nigga. Queens nigga.
That. Yep.
Yeah, man. It's so funny because that clip pops up like once a year.
Yeah.
And people are like, is this you? Yeah, what the fuck? Like,
but it's so weird. It's like I watched that back then and I didn't know who you were. So I'm kind of like you were.
Shit. I didn't know who I was back then. Like, I thought I was. I ain't have no business being in that camera. Like I thought I was a rapper. Like yeah, I'm in this shit too.
That was a big deal. Being on the Smack.
Dog. I mean, I think like it was so much like we didn't use the word clout, but if I could use the word clout for back then, like the clout was so lit for me going back to the hood. Like in the hood, bro. Like I was on a Smack DVD. Man. Cause there wasn't no social media. You know what I mean?
The social media.
It wasn't no social media. So it's like being on a DVD, people in the crib turn that on and like
on the barbershop.
Yeah. Like my one of my homies that was locked up one time, he seen me in one of PD Crack's videos and told me he was in there wilding. Mind you, like we cool, we grew up together, we not best friends. He was like, yeah I was wilding in Rikers when I seen you in the video. Like, that's my man right there.
This nigga was an old boy talking about, I know this nigga.
Yeah, like don't get into a whole situation because you feel me? Like don't get into a whole situation. But like I always want to do that for you because when you do all these interviews and shit, right? Like where you from, you definitely it definitely runs up in the neighborhood.
Oh, for sure. Like it's weird because I'm me. Right. Like I'm not like the perception that people have of me. I don't buy into it. I'm just a regular guy. So a lot of times, you know, especially now, people see I do an interview with like Jay-Z or Drake and things like that. People think that I'm Jay-Z or Drake. And I'm like, no, I'm not that person. So
you my man, but like you not like you saying that shit too modestly for me. I'm sorry. Like I get it. No, I get it because I understand it as I'm, you know, going on my journey and you knew me before I got into media. So it's like, nigga, when you interview Will Smith, I was just like, this nigga sitting in the same room with Will Smith.
That was hard.
That's crazy.
That was one of those pitch me, is this happening moments? Right. You know, like being in this business, I've just been blessed and fortunate to have these crazy experiences. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a regular guy.
Who you meet that you ever made you call your mom? Like it immediately made you call your mom? Like like.
But my mom is fake, right? My mom is my mom. So I was gonna get back to her. Right. My mom is so third world. Like my mom's from Barbados, right? She's been in this country longer than she lived in Barbados, but she sounds like she's just fresh off the boat. Right. And she talking about she never gets starstruck. I don't know why people like celebrities, all this shit, right? Drake called me. This is a true story. I told this a couple times. Never on air. Right. At the top of the year, right? Yeah. I was on my computer, just chilling, right? And I was streaming a movie or something like that, right? And you know, like FaceTime pops up on your thing. Right. It's for me at least, the number just only pops up, never the name, right? It's like, who the fuck is this? This weird number. So I look at my phone. It's like Drake new. Yeah. And I'm like, this has got to be a butt call because Drake never FaceTimes me or whatever, right? So I answer like, yo, what's up? He's like, hey, what's up? You know, fuck that nigga Wayno. No, I'm funny. Nah, but what's crazy is, man. But long story short, I talked to Drake real quick, and my mom is at the house, right? So I say, yo, mom, Because my mom, she knows what I do, but she don't believe it because, you know, it doesn't make sense to just rest it. Right. Like, yo, Drake, my mom want to say hi. Oh my gosh, Drake. That's Drake?
Nah.
Drake, I from Barbados too, from her, like, same place as Rihanna. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm like, yo, Ma, you wild. What happened? You don't like celebrities and shit. You know what I mean? So it was just a funny moment.
I feel you.
But yeah, I think she sometimes doesn't. I feel you.
It's 3 people that I've met that I immediately called my moms after. Like, I think when I met DJ Ralph McDaniels, bro.
Really?
Yo, when I met DJ Ralph McDaniels,
shout out to Ralph, man.
My nigga, yo, when I couldn't believe, like, I've met like a significant amount of people, like, just like before media, just being in the game and shit. But when I met DJ Ralph McDaniels, I could not believe it, bro. Wow. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this nigga real?
People don't understand how important Ralph McDaniels is to hip hop culture, even New York City, just in general. He's so important.
Because it wouldn't be like a Rap City or MTV Raps and none of that shit without video music box.
Facts.
So it's like when I met him, I called my mom's like, yo, Ma, I met DJ Ralph McDaniels. I was like, yo, I can't believe it.
What was this? How old were you?
Shit was like 6 years ago. I was at
Oh, this is recent.
This is recent.
Wow.
Like 7 years ago. Okay. It was like 6 or 7 years ago. I was at, remember when Born Fly used to do all them like
Yeah.
It was something that Born Fly was having for the artists. I can't remember the artist, but I remember I met DJ Ralph McDaniels that night. Him, when I met Spike Lee. I met Spike Lee. Clark Kent introduced me to him.
Oh, right.
And you know Clark Kent, he gives you like these, like he give you an intro like you coming down the tunnel to drop 50. So by the time he's finished introing me to Spike was like, damn, could I get your number? Like, I called my mom like, yo, Ma, I met Spike Lee. And Mario Van Peebles.
Really? Why Mario Van Peebles?
New Jack City, man.
Oh, right.
Like, come on, like, dude, like, Mario Van Peebles, I mean, like, he was in mad movies when we were kids and he did a lot of stuff, but like, I watched New Jack City with my mom when I was a kid. So it's just like, I met Mario Van Peebles. So the people that I always get excited about now is like the people that I never met, like that was from my childhood shit.
Right.
Like I met DMC before, that was ill. I never met Run before. But like if I was to meet, I met damn, I'm forgetting my man name from Lords from the Underground. You know what I'm talking
Do It All? Not Do It All. Not Do
Excuse me, I forget.
The purists are coming at us right now.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna come at us crazy. But we was in an airport. And I seen him and I was like, nigga, I bought like the bootleg album of like, you know what I mean? Like, Here Come the Lords was my shit when I was in the 5th grade. He's like, for real? Like, every time I be telling niggas shit, they be like, really? You listen to that shit? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I remember I was in LA a couple years ago. I was at the Bossa Nova and Kool Keith was sitting there, right? And I'm sure no one know the fuck Kool Keith was. Right. Like, yo, man, you Kool Keith, right? Like, yeah. It was like, yo, man, you know, I like what you do, you know?
Nigga, I was like that for Kerry Kittles.
Really?
Yeah, I was at Complex.
Oh, wow.
I was at Complex and Kerry Kittles. I was walking through this shit and he turned the corner and I was like, yo, it's Kerry Kittles. Like, I was like, the fuck? He was like, oh, like he was kind of taking, but I met him one time. I was in Harlem when I was a kid and I was riding my bike. Me and my best friend, we was coming down the hill. And he was like getting out the car with he was young. He was like fresh in the league. I think it might have been his 1st or 2nd year. And I fucking hit my brakes like, I was like, Kerry Kittles. And he was looking at me like, what the fuck? And then he was with a lady and she was like, say hi to them. Like, he was like, yo, talk, like, say hi. He was like, hi. Like, he was on some like Kawhi Leonard shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like you see Kawhi Leonard, he be like, yeah, but like Kerry Kittles, I got hype.
I think though, like if I met like Obama, I met Hillary Clinton once, right?
Yeah.
So I told my mom she was happy about that. But like real like important, not to say those people aren't important, but like, politicians, things like that, she gets really like in her mom bag, you know what I'm saying?
Did anyone break your expectation?
Yeah. What's that?
Did anyone ruin your expectation?
Nah, everyone's been pretty cool. Like I really don't have those bad, I met this person, he was an asshole stories, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I meant more like not asshole, but they were like nicer than you expected.
Yeah, Beyonce is really nice.
What I just tell you?
He just told me that.
You said that?
So we just was having like an offline convo about just
I hate that we're name dropping people.
I know,
like
but
this, right?
No,
I mean, we just talking.
I know.
But you know, and I feel like all these niggas dick riding. Like, these niggas dick riding all these niggas. No, but what I was saying is like, you know, when I used to work at Rock, I was around Beyonce like a lot of times, like, and I was like, the thing about being around Beyonce is that if you in a room with her, you supposed to be in the room. So like when she walks in the room, like every time I was in there, like she dap you up like you a nigga, like what's good, like you know what I mean, like you chilling, you good, like. and she's just really like she's a fucking superhero in everybody's eyes, but she's a very, very regular person.
She's so regular. Like I remember at Jay-Z's Magna Carta Holy Grail release party, whatever. It was in Brooklyn, and she was sitting on the couch. It was her and Timberland. At the time, I think she was like taking photography or whatever.
Yeah.
So everyone was just mingling and stuff, and I was just chilling, like listening to the music. She's like, she held her. She was like, "Take a picture of you." I was like, "You talking to me?" Yeah, take a picture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But she's like the nicest person. I really wish that everyone had the opportunity to meet her because she doesn't act like as if
you're not gonna think like. I mean, you're gonna imagine that she's gonna ride in on like lightning, smoke and shit, and then like take off into the sunrise. But like, it's really not.
She's always kind of nice. So I would say Beyonce.
What high school you went to, B.Dot?
I went to Thomas Edison High School in Jamaica, Queens. It's right off the Grand Central Parkway, and it's right across the street, also from Jamaica High School, literally across the street. So
I only been in Jamaica, Queens a few times. Unfortunately, I've been in Jamaica, Queens like 2 times, and it was for the same person, and it was for her baby shower and her funeral.
Oh shit!
Damn.
Yeah, that sounds like some Queens shit. But you kind of have, I think, depending on who you ask, JFK is in Jamaica-ish.
Yeah.
So you know. But
Jamaica, Queens is that shit is yo. I thought like so I'm from the east side of Harlem.
Yes.
And like
you like we'll talk about that. I was gonna say that. You're like the pride of the east side. Like I think you might be the most successful person from the east side of Harlem.
I like to put myself in that class.
I think it's you, Black Rob, and G-Dep. And that's it, right?
No, I gotta give it up to my man Tess Smooth.
Oh, Tess Smooth, okay,
you know
from there.
There's a lot. I mean, the people that's from the east side is kind of like we kind of undercut a bit. Like I feel like Smokey, he the comedian, he's from Taino Towers.
Oh, he from there?
Yeah,
okay.
Smokey from the east side. Those basically like we try to claim Cam sometimes. Cam really from the west side, but we try to claim. But Cam, I feel like being from Harlem, even wherever side you from, if you kind of in the mix, then like you'll be. Because even though I grew up on the east side, I hung on the west side more than I kind of hung on the east side at different times. You know what I'm saying? But like. The east side and the west side is like a war, bro. Like it's
even now.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say in a negative space. It's just like we argue. Like my way from the west side.
Yeah.
So it's like my kids, everything is east side, west side in my crib.
Okay.
Like everything is west side, east side.
I guess that's like that with any borough. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm from Jamaica, Queens, and you know, you from Hollis, or you from that side, or you from this. You know, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's everyone is very prideful from where they're from.
Yo, there always used to be. Well, I always used to see the thing of like, who got the best rappers? Is it Brooklyn or Queens? I always like. I ain't gonna lie. Some days I feel Brooklyn because I feel like Brooklyn has like 2 of the greatest ever, but then I feel like Queens has it.
No, I think about this a lot. I think about rap and music more than I should. Like I analyze this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Queens has the best groups of all time, of any place. But I think Brooklyn. I got to keep it real. I think they have the best rappers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, yo, but because there's a time where like Queens just, all right, you got to think right, like in all in one era, you got Nas, Capone and Noriega, Mobb Deep. I don't think anybody in the world might have a like. I compare just Queens' run in the 90s damn near to what Atlanta's doing completely. You know what I'm saying? Because they have, like, Atlanta just keep cranking shit out.
That's true.
And Queens, not to mention Tribe, you know what I mean? Like
that goes to the groups, you know what I'm saying? Like I think about Tribe, Mobb Deep, CNN, G Unit, who was some Onyx, Run DMC.
Onyx,
like it's a history there, you know what I'm saying? But when I think about like the solo rappers, I think about Jay, I think about Kane, Fab, Big, Fox.
When I was a kid, I was tight. I was in dark skin because I wanted to be like Big Daddy Kane and Michael Jordan. I swear to God, bro, I was sick. Now I'm dead serious. Like between Big Daddy Kane, Michael Jordan, and Kadeem Hardison, I was tight. I was in dark skin because my pops was dark skin. So I used to really be tight. Like man, this shit, because I was lighter than I am now when I was a kid. But I used to be tight. Like damn, man, want to be like Mike, but really can't. Like, you feel me?
Word.
Hell yeah. But like I do. Like I always thought like, all right. See, even when you bring them up, right, then you bring up like just the runs that these people have, and like, you know what I mean? And I always feel like Queens' run is crazy because it's like Queens always, I wouldn't say recreates, but it's always like the next generation of, or the next big star. Yeah. They have a star like damn near every generation.
Yeah, I think we're due. Because
except for who now is from Queens? That's
Nicki's the last big person from that borough, from the borough. Yeah, I think it's Nicki. Yeah, she's the last one.
Damn. Yeah, Harlem, like, yo, see, Harlem, we have, like, our run is rough, man.
The legacy is there. Harlem has such a crazy legacy, you know what I'm saying? From the Dipset, the Harlem World, and just, and hustlers in general, like, you know, Harlem Renaissance.
Absolutely. I just be, like, you know what the thing is like, I think that, like, Harlem's history, not even just, not just the artist, but, like, what Harlem is really just a neighborhood in Manhattan.
Yeah.
It kind of gets swept under the Harlem Shake. Like, I feel like outside, like, no, like, not in New York, right? No, this is some G shit, bro. Because like, when you travel outside of New York, when somebody say where you from, you don't say I'm from New York. You say I'm from Queens.
Nigga, first off, when I'm out of Queens is a weird place too.
It's a very weird place.
I hate it, but I love it at the same time. Cause like you go to a hotel or something, right? Yeah. You give the person your ID. They look at your fucking license. They're like, "What the fuck is this? Your address looks like a social security number."
Nah, I hate y'all addresses, bro.
We're the only place in America with addresses like that.
But y'all the only, like, Queens to me is like, the navigation of Queens is like a fucking spiral. Yeah. Like, nothing makes sense, bro. You could be on 34th Ave and 192nd Street, and then you go down a block, and now you on fucking First Street and 21st Ave. You be like, I don't know where the fuck I'm at.
Like, too? This is how my mentality anywhere I go. I feel like when you navigate Queens, you got to do it by landmarks or location or like area, right? So if I tell you my address, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is that? If I say it's by so-and-so, oh, okay. You have a general idea of where I'm at.
What's the thing growing up in Queens? Like, what do y'all niggas do in Queens? Like, growing up in Queens, because, like,
beat each other up, get robbed. Growing up in Queens, what was it like? Jamaica Avenue, you know what I'm saying?
That's y'all 25th.
That's our 125th. Yeah. The Coliseum block.
Yeah.
That was like a big thing. You know, we should just go to other boroughs and stuff like that. Or
what do y'all niggas party at? Because for me, it's Skate Key. Like,
Key, well,
no, Queens niggas was coming up to Skate Key.
Yeah, of course.
That's a fact.
Yeah, and they wasn't coming back though. Go to Skate Key. That shit, man, far away in the Bronx.
Yo, you know what's crazy about partying as a teenager in New York, bro? Like, I'm talking about like late 90s. That shit was like almost like an Olympic sport.
It was.
Like, that shit is really like an Olympic sport.
It was like, elaborate. Why?
Because it's like, I can't, like, right now, I can't imagine, like, I partied as a teenager. I went out every Saturday. Only thing I cared about was my fit. Like, that was like, bro, I could make whatever money I made the week.
Yeah.
The whole shit went to what I was wearing Saturday night. Sunday morning, I was popped. I ain't have shit. But my fit was, like, the most important thing about going to the party.
Right.
But the parties that we went to was just, like, very dangerous.
Yeah, they were. I mean, niggas used to go to Speed, you know, growing up.
Speed was crazy. Did you used to go to Mars 2112?
Of course. I missed Mars 2112.
Mars 2112 is like the most. That shit is where the Atlantic building is, bro. Like,
yeah, right in front.
Yo, bro,
downstairs.
It's downstairs.
Like a Bally's now or some shit. Like
it's a LA Fitness.
LA Fitness.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah, but it's like imagine like a club, bro. A club in the bottom of a corporate building.
Yeah. I've been to Mars 2112.
For real?
But it was like some other shit.
You think
like
this guy's
12.
a fucking square? He's good as Mars.
No, he's not old. Like, Eden is like 25. Like, when the fuck you went to Mars 2112?
I'm 26.
26. Mars 2112 was like at the end of his peak in 2009, 2010, or 8?
Yeah, a little bit earlier, maybe.
Earlier.
Yeah, but like to answer your question though, we used to go to like Amazura, which was a death trap in Queens.
Yeah.
It's right by the Long Island Railroad. And we used to go to little I forget the name of these spots, man, but like we used to go to Mars 2112.
Yeah.
We used to go to
Speed. You went to Palladium?
Did I go to Palladium? I probably have.
I've been to Palladium one time.
Remember we was talking about this one time on Clubhouse when that shit was popping about old clubs that people used to go to.
Because there's no that hip hop artists just go to in the city. But I think like that kind of takes away from our city a lot.
That shit's breaking my heart right looking at
Mars 2112.
People oftentimes come to New York, you know, pre-pandemic, like, yo, I'm in the city. Where's it at, nigga? It's right where you left it.
Right.
Don't come to New York to party because there ain't no clubs.
There's no clubs.
There aren't any. The nightlife in New York City is like non-existent. Only time if you want to come to New York to party, you gotta go to a strip club.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then it's like in Queens or something.
I'm done with the strip clubs because all of them in Queens. See, the thing about Queens is that they all in industrial areas.
Yes,
and that's all a fucking setup.
That's what niggas get yapped.
Yeah, you see how they caught Cleanthony early ass.
The Knicks. Yep. That's how it happens, man.
There, man.
But New York City nightlife is like non-existent. It hurts. It hurts the culture.
how that's a big part of how hip hop culture was. And see, my thing with New York, and I give New York a lot of flack only because like even though I wasn't an adult in the 90s, like I remember like all the older niggas on my block coming home and talking about the tunnel, like and saying what happened that night.
Bro.
And I just feel like New York has turned into for the young generation. This shit is Chicago, bro. It's Chicago 10 years ago, and like the drill shit and all that's cool, but like I'm just saying culturally, we don't have like you. I can't think about going out to have a good time in New York anymore.
That's a fact.
Unless I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to eat.
Actually, that's a good point.
I could think about somewhere I could go to eat, but I can't think about like somewhere to go to have a good time. And that's of course it's gonna be the young motherfuckers that be like, that's cause you are old.
You old,
you old nigga. We got these underground parties and all that. I'm not going to none of
But
this
I
shit.
think that's the evolution of the New York City nightlife because for a long time it was like, yo, I can't let you in with them shoes. You gotta have a collared shirt. I never forget one time when the 4040 was popping, right? Me and my niggas was trying to get in, and my homeboy, he had a t-shirt on. They made this nigga buy a polo from the 4040. He looked like he worked there. And it was like for $200. He's probably watching this, like shaking his head, like, yup, I remember that.
I went through that in Miami.
He had to.
But that polo shit, man, blame Jay-Z about that bullshit. Because when he made change clothes, it really made them change everything at all the clubs. I was in the first time I went to Miami was in 2005, and I was out there with Freeway and shit. And every time I got to a club, of course, I was the broke one, so I couldn't afford to go fucking buy clothes. And then like I was always the person that didn't want to ask for shit.
Right.
But then it was some club we was going to, and they like, yo, you can't get in like without a t-shirt. Like a year, literally 6-8 months before you could get in with a shirt on. Yeah. Now you can't get in with a t-shirt, and I had to go buy a polo. I look so stupid in that shit. Bro.
But the bouncers was rubbing your pockets too. Like if you was in New York City and you trying to get into a club, the bouncers would look you up and down. You do one of these and like, it's gonna cost you,
Yeah.
Like, so you had to buy the bottle. It was just too much. Now I think that's the rise of like the Duce Paloozas and stuff like that, those specialty parties, because niggas wasn't trying to get.
But now, I mean, I be watching the gram and these kids, they got more money than I've ever seen in my life.
Bro, it's amazing.
Bro, I be seeing 20-year-olds with the same watch I got on
Wayno.
right now.
Yo, shit is like, it's so different from when we was coming up. Like you go like to Short Hills Mall in Jersey or like these kids are in high.
No, they go everywhere. Remember when going to Jersey was a thing?
Nigga, what?
That's nothing now. Like these niggas is 21 and live in Jersey.
Yo,
now. Like,
they are wearing Gucci. Everything it has multi-syllables as tags.
The thing about it is like, once we hit our 30s, our 20s don't seem like that long ago. And when you're in your 20s, right? One thing I say is like, in my 20s, I didn't disrespect. I definitely called people that was 30 old when I was 21. You know what I mean? I wouldn't disrespect them, but I was like, oh, this nigga old. Like, you know what I mean? In certain instances.
But I don't look at y'all and I'm like, oh.
But it's weird right though, here. Man. Like I think I have this concept. I love this. This is the reason why I love this podcast, because y'all talk about nerd shit and just weird shit.
Yeah, we talk about everything.
I know that's why I love it. We're just not focusing on music.
Right.
But I have this weird fascination with time and like age gap. I feel like we peaked as a generation for some reason. And people are gonna be in the comments on like, maybe I'm fucked up.
As in like your generation specifically.
Just in general, like, for instance, 2001 was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And we still.
Yo, when you do that, when I started looking at movies that came out, that's where it fucks me up.
But it's like the same gap of 20 years span is like from 1980 to 2000.
Yeah, right.
It's like night and day.
It's night and day. No, it's completely different. That's insane that you said that because
I see what you mean.
I think like, bro, all right, so I always think of when I reference 2001, I always think of 9/11 because I know exactly what happened that entire day. So I was 18 in 2001. Damn. And when I think back of like culturally how everything was going on, music, how we dressed, etc., it doesn't feel that long ago, but like today is so much different. It's insanely different. But that's why like time is such a big thing because I mean, see, growing up, how old are you, B.Dot?
I'm 36.
Okay, I'm only 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
Right? So when I was a kid in the 80s, a little kid, because people be asking me like, that's another thing when you're from New York. People assume 88 was such a big year in New York. People assume that you knew. I was like in 88, I was like in kindergarten or some shit. Like, bro, I don't know what the fuck was going on in 88. But like, my mom made me watch like movies from the 70s.
Right.
Right. So it's like I would go back, like I could go back and reference like older shit where now it's like my son is my oldest daughter, she's born in 02. My son is born in 07, right?
Their kids is big as shit. And
They're big as shit, right? But they still like, well, they don't really, like, my son don't give a fuck about, like, some last week. Like they don't, like, what I'm noticing about these kids is, like, for me, as a kid, I held on to, like, older shit. Like, now, like, these kids don't really.
But here's my theory, right? Because it's like, I hate when people reference 20-year-olds as kids, because I feel like you infantilize.
Well, my son's not 20.
No, I'm just saying in general. Like, we talk about 20-year-olds as kids because, like, we infantilize adults. In my eyes, you're 18, you're an adult, right?
But that's because we grew up in a space where we from the generation where our generation wanted to be grown up.
We felt grown.
But that's because, so I think that comes from, like, bro, when we were kids, you cannot tell me that this nigga Mike Tyson wasn't 80 years old. I'm talking, I don't mean literally, I mean figuratively. Like, Mike Tyson seemed like this grown-ass fucking man.
Or how about when you were in high school or whatever, like, you looked at a senior, you'd be like, yo, this nigga grown.
Yeah, he's grown. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a senior, like, what's crazy that you say that, because it's like dudes that I still see to this day.
Yeah.
That, like, when I was in the 9th grade with seniors, and, like, they just fuck with me because I was the cool kid, but like, to me, like, they was like this grown ass man.
Yes.
Like, I looked at him like, bro. But the crazy thing about that is, I remember I told you I got my first tattoo when I was 14.
Yeah.
When I got that tattoo, everybody was looking at me like I was like the only person my age in my entire school that had a tattoo. So it was like such a big thing.
Yeah.
But, like, that's because I thought that getting a tattoo made me grown. So it's like, think about this, right? Your cousins or whomever, and people telling you ain't grown, but everything we're watching is the grownest shit. But by the time when I was 14, I thought that being 18, that meant that I could have an apartment and responsibility and all this other shit. And, bro, I really feel like not just a man thing, because men do mature very late in life, but I'm not talking about how men mature in relationships, because that's what we're always held to, how we mature relationship-wise. I'm talking about, like, men and women. Man, a lot of people don't get their shit together till 30 for real. And even when they get it together at 30, you still figuring a lot of shit out.
Then let me ask, what, because this is the controversy right now still.
What?
Then what is Unc and Auntie age?
I don't, bro.
I hate it when niggas call me OG and
yeah, bro. Like,
don't call me a fucking OG, man.
But as a 26-year-old, I feel no sense of wanting to call any of you OG or
no,
Unc.
but listen, I'm talking about, bro. I got 31-year-olds calling me OG.
OG.
I'm like, nigga, you in your 30s too.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck you mean? You the OG.
Word, Unc and Auntie. I think it's like relatability, right?
Relatability.
It's like, I have an OG. He's a real OG. He's 50s, but he's so in tune. You would never think that he's of a certain age. I feel like once you become that person, like, you're listening to the radio, you're like, who's that guy with that song?
Yeah, but I find certain instances in that, like, okay, so, let's take our experience of who we are in our profession out of it, right?
All right.
Like, just not knowing shit, right? Like, I think that we're still pretty in tune with a lot of different things, but there is this space that I feel like both of us may sit in where we might not know some, like, it's certain shit that, like, my kids, that's how I learn a lot of shit, like, through my kids, or, like, just going to my block. Like, I go to my block and I chop it up with my little homies for a little bit. That's why they call me big homie or OG, but I chop it up with them, and they'll, like, say certain shit and I pick up on it. But I feel like, is it, as black people, growing up where we grew up at, right, and the places we grew up at, like, we kind of, once we get ourselves to a certain age, we kind of kick ourselves out of the conversation of knowing a lot of shit, because, like I was saying about, think about that 40-something-year-old I was talking about being outside. He's still trying to hold on. You know what I mean? Like he's still where I don't give a fuck about, like, I don't care about, like, being on any block.
Right.
I don't, also, like, when you go to another town, right? So you from Southside Jamaica, Queens. I'm from the east side of Harlem. Statistically, places that you typically don't make it from, right?
True.
But we have this, like, I feel like our culture has this affinity when we go to LA. It's like, take me to the place that has the most poverty, because I want to see that. Like, oh, y'all niggas got roaches too? Like, you know what I mean?
It's
like,
a relatability.
The relatability, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like you reach a certain level where you stop giving a fuck about that type of shit. That's what makes us the OG or the Unc.
I think also just age. For some reason,
I think age is just the easy way out.
It's the easy way out. It's a cop out too. But I also and this is gonna sound superficial. If you look at Wayno, if you don't know him, you would think he's 20, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
somebody, a young lady told me that she thought I was 28. She made me smile.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like he's lean. You know, he doesn't look bloated. You know, like some niggas. No, I'm just being honest. That's one of my biggest fears. Is like as I get older, I don't want to get like that birth control neck. You know what I mean? You know?
that fat ass face you can't control.
Like this niggas I went to school. I'm like, yo, how the fuck you look like this?
You know who aged like that,
I'll tell you how. Black and Miles and a lot of liquor. Like no, I'm just
it's the truth. But it's like, but if you look like someone you can identify with,
right?
People aren't gonna classify you as old or this nigga look.
So what I try to do that is like, even for myself is like when it comes to the youth, when I'm thinking about a 17-year-old and even speaking about them, I don't forget what I thought like when I was 17 or 20 or 25. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm almost 40, but like. I understand, like, what I try to get younger people to understand is like, oh, my nigga, you think this is only for me? This is coming for you too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the thing is just like having some sort of understanding that, yeah, you're young, but like, watch how you treat the younger ones, younger than you. Because like, you can't turn the clock back. We're only children for a short amount of time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know, even going back to you, I know you find it weird when people call 20-year-olds kids. Mm-hmm. But I mean, maybe from my experience, I could tell you now, being 26 now, and the shit I knew at 20, I would say I didn't know shit.
Oh, that's a fact. I'm 36.
And that's where the kids kind of think.
At 30, I thought I was just 36 years ago.
yeah.
I was grown as fuck.
Absolutely.
But that's evolution. At 40, you're gonna say, man, I was 36, I ain't know nothing.
Bro, the last time, what are we in? We're in 2021, right? When 2021. Dirk and them won that championship in 2011, I was 28. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it's not that long ago, but then I look at like, I really live my life vicariously through entertainment in the sense of like, yo, when I was watching last night's game, when Bron and them got kicked out the playoffs, I was looking at like, yeah, he's LeBron, but I'm looking at how slow he's becoming in certain instances. Now, yeah, he's still LeBron, but like, remember how people was giving flack? Like Kobe just, God rest his soul, like Kobe just retired 5 years ago.
Yep.
Right. That's crazy.
5 years ago was that game when he shot 100 shots and got 60. But it's like he was on his last legs then. Right? So look at LeBron. Like, yeah, he still is fucking like when he jumps up and does it's not necessarily hypes. The motherfucker is the most athletically gifted person we've ever seen. So yeah, he still gets up there. But at the same time, it's like Bron is getting old.
In 18 years, he lost his first.
Listen, it happened.
First round into the playoffs.
He needed help, but that's another conversation.
That's another conversation. I'm just saying, like and LeBron is younger than me.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Like if anyone's ever met LeBron, like, he looks like a bouncer. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like he's like a giant, like a monster. You know what I mean? But I also think that you're about to be 40 soon, right?
Right.
That used to look different.
It used to look a certain way.
True.
It used to look like, I look at 50-year-olds now, like some 50-year-olds be looking bad, yo.
Bro, that's a fact. It's certain 50-year-olds that look but I see 25-year-olds that look. That's the thing. I don't know what the number is no more. Because when we were kids, we'd be like, oh, this nigga look like he 36. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but you're 36 and I'm 38. But then I see people that's like 50 and do look good. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
pause.
Bro, pause, right? Good catch. But like
4.5.
But it's like, all right, even outside, like even in entertainment, you look at somebody like Pharrell, who's a
babyface
vampire, Nas, who's
Kanye.
a vampire,
These guys are middle-aged. But the youth still love them.
But the perception of age, that's why I feel like as I get older, I feel like, because even like my dad, right? Like my dad was 70 years old.
That guy, your father was a character.
He was a fucking character, character.
He was a character.
My dad, like, I learned a lot about my dad's last years because my dad got his first tattoo at 63.
Oh yeah,
his first tattoo at 60. Yeah. I'm like, bro, I was acting like the father. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You 60. He's fucking with some young chick. She taking him, like, they going to Atlantic City and he's getting tattooed and shit. I'm like, what? But it's just like, yo, you're only as old. Like, yeah, of course, we'll all get old age. Yeah. You're only as old as you feel.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like, you're only as old. So if you sitting around, you're like, oh,
bruh,
I'm old.
Word.
My boy Hector gets me tight every week. He is 29, gonna be 30 in November. He swears he's an old motherfucker.
Yeah, he is. You wanna know why? He is because he
Put
think
himself
like
there.
that.
Yeah. I tell him every week, stop doing that to yourself. You are only gonna be 30.
But
Man.
so that another thing that I want to add, because I think that that's something that just happens in not in our culture. It's just being black people, bro. Like we're just so fast to kick each other out of everything. It's not even just music. It's just like everything. It's like count that person out because they reach a certain age. But I feel like even when I look at white people and I seen like what's his name, Mark Cuban talking about like when he really, now he was getting it, but he talked about being 28 and he was like, I didn't really have money like that at 28. But them not having money is different. Like they're broke is different than our broke. But at the same time, it's like this man became a billionaire in his 40s. So it's like being a young, like for a young guy, girl out here that's like, it'd be people that's 22 be like, yo, I'm 20, I'm about to be, they be like, yo, 25, I'm about to be old.
You know what it is?
What?
I know what it is. It's just because you just see so much going on the timeline. Our generation cannot
timeline, bro.
But to look
that
at this
word didn't even
timeline.
exist for us.
Yeah.
Like we didn't think the timeline wasn't a thing for us. But you know what I think that the problem is because our generation, we kind of had to like, if we weren't watching a documentary about the grind or reading about the grind, there was no way for us to see it. I feel like now when a kid sees a B.Dot or a me or whomever, they just looking at like all the accolades or all the shit that they look at as something for us and say, I ain't doing enough. And it's like, dog, it took me.
I'm guilty of that 100%.
We all are. Listen, I'm sure, Wayno, you have those moments where you feel like you doubt yourself at times, or do you feel like you're doing enough?
I still doubt. I still do doubt myself.
Me too. You know, just, I don't. That's why I don't let the hype or the perception that people have of me get to my head, because I'm like, yo, there's so much mountain left to climb. But I didn't want to cut you off.
No, it's all good, bro. I was about to add to just say like, when in my younger years, like I wouldn't say I accomplished a lot early, but like the things that I did, I got so caught up on that being young, bro. I'd be terrified. Like now, I got to stop living with that fear. You know what I mean? Because I was having a conversation with an artist one time, and he was just telling me like, bro, you live in fear. And he's like, when you living in fear, you can't really truly enjoy life. I'll just say Big Sean. You know what I mean? Like he said that to me, and he was like
some Big Sean shit.
Right. Like, he just said some real shit to me, like, yo, bro, like, cause my thing is, bro, when I tell people that I moved out the projects 5 years ago, they can't believe it. They can't believe it. And I just 5 years later, I just bought my first house. Like I just bought a house.
Congratulations on that,
Thanks, man. I ain't telling everybody where I was at, but I did buy a house, and it's like, I'm just like, well, shit, I could look at it like it took so long, or I'm just getting started. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the kind of thing that's kind of fucked up in our way of life, is that everybody thinks that they should have so early without putting the groundwork in.
They see the glory, but they don't know the story. You know, that's the cliche, but it's the truth, man. Like to see Wayno now, you got to be Wayno then. I don't think you want to be.
But yo, I tell people this all the time, bro. Like and I think probably even for your journey as well. If you had to tell everybody what you went through step by step, I'm not talking about the good times. I'm talking about like everything. Let's just say when you decided, when you was like, all right, this is what the fuck I'm gonna do, right? From that to where you are now, if your younger self had to look at that, you'd be like, I'm not signing up for this shit.
Facts.
Like I'm not doing this. Like, so I think we do still had the young shit in us where we thought that it was gonna happen sooner than
for sure.
later.
Absolutely. I mean,
what's pushed you through though? Like what the fuck? Not because I don't want to turn this into B.Dot. What inspired you?
When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Yeah, I don't want to turn it into that. I just want to say, like, my nigga, what makes you get up outside of like, yeah, we do cool shit and all that. I'm talking about what makes you say, oh, now I gotta keep this fucking train going. I mean, my man drives nice cars and he wears nice watches, evidently, and nice
Shout
sneakers,
out to the middle class.
He wore a different pair.
Those are the beaters.
He got here.
Those are the beaters.
Those is not beaters. Those is like,
Come on,
his
man.
You use them as
Bullet
beaters.
97s are his beaters.
No,
Just
but
think
I
about
just
that.
really want to know, because like I get like I try to be a lot of people give me flack and call me safe.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that. I come from like what I come from is not safe. So my journey is I want to know what my guy has gone through that has like that you get up every day and be like, nah, I'm gonna keep this shit going, because there's people that look up to us on a daily basis.
That shit trips me out, man.
No, it does too, but at the same time, like, that shit is real, bro.
It's two things to answer your question. As I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
the first thing that just popped into my mind is love. I love what I do. Like, I genuinely love what I do. I do it for no money. I've done it for no money for a long time. I've done it for little money.
Right.
Like, I was making shit. I was a $30,000 to $50,000 a year nigga for a long time. I just made my first six figures 2017 maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, I remember what that felt like, and you know, your appetite increases. But I just loved what I did, man. I just genuinely loved hip hop. I love hip hop culture. I love journalism. That wakes me up in the morning. And the second thing is, now that I'm in a position, I don't want to be whack. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
That's just this whack. Like, I never want to be a nigga. Like, I'm not a celebrity. I don't.
You are though.
No, I'm not.
No, but because I said the same thing. Look,
I'm not.
All right.
There's people watching. It's like, who the fuck is this guy next to Wayno? Like, that's not famous.
but see, I had to learn this as well. I kept saying to myself, I'm not what people. I kept looking at being a celebrity as what people want me to be, right? And I started saying to myself, like, I ain't no celebrity because I still pull up over here and I still go get oxtails and white rice on 134th and 7th. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still do that, or I still go over here. And I mean, we can't change who we are.
Right.
We're always, like, I always look at my life as this. I'm always gonna be my mother's son. Whenever people give me accolades for who I am, I'll be like, I'm just who my mother raised me to be, right? With that being said, though, there is a part of, like, self-recognition that you must take, where you realize that while you're not, you always will be Brian. Yeah. You're not Brian 10 years ago.
True, that's true.
And this B.Dot thing, because I think that, like, we can separate the things. Like, I can separate Wayno from, like, I'm Wayne on my block. I'm Wayno to a lot of people on my block, but I'm also Wayne. I'm also Papa to my family. You know what I'm saying? So I can separate those things, but at the same time, I think that we have to acknowledge, like, what we've built, because it can be dangerous when you don't.
Yeah, that's true.
It can be very dangerous when you don't, because is normalcy a word?
Normality?
Normality.
Oh.
Yeah.
Us thinking about, like, the normality of things, it can put us in vulnerable positions that we shouldn't be in. You know what I mean? But because you come from the South Side.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's just like, I have a reputation, not to people, but to myself. Is like, I just don't want to be looked at as whack. Like, you know, to the people that do look up to us, or I feel like maybe I have an obligation to myself, to them, to do good work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I get emails, DMs, all kind of messages daily from people all across the world talking about, yo, I love your work. You're inspiring me. And like, that shit is what, this is a pause. This is what keeps my heart.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, at the end of the day, we here to inspire and help other people. Like, if you're not doing that, like, just
what you doing?
What are you doing here?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie, that, and, like, you know, when I first took the job with Everyday Struggle, I think I reached out to you. I reached out to a few different people, because like, the doubt that I was having with myself was like, oh, like, you could fix all of that shit, right? Like,
Yeah. We could hold
like,
on.
when I first got on EDS, it was like, I was terrified. You know what I'm saying? I was terrified, one, by, like, it being, like, big shoes to fill that I knew would never be filled, because I knew that I wasn't that person. Secondly, me just being on camera and speaking. I remember, like, when we did Made in America, and you and Elliot was cracking up every time I seen y'all. Like,
nah, because it was just funny to see you in this position now, you know?
But it's like, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, you gave me great words that got me through that day, that weekend, because I was there, you know, Saturday and Sunday, and even L. And, like, that's what I thought of myself is this. Once I get on camera, I feel like it's a lot of niggas, and I'm not trying, this is not for me to be calling people out, because that's not what I do. But I feel like a lot of people use a camera to shock the fool out here.
True.
You know what I mean? To do a lot of stupid shit and bullshit, and it doesn't, like, and I'm not just talking in one field. I'm not talking to hip hop. I'm talking to sports. Like, I go through my, like, I'm a regular person still, but even though but I go through my Instagram and I look at a couple people's platforms that are up and up, and I be like, you ain't got to do it like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to try to fucking swing at the world just to get somebody to swing on you for you to be seen.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do that.
That's why when I saw you at Made in America and I saw you getting into this media space, I was so happy and proud because I'm like, yo, first off, Wayno's just a good person.
Thank you.
Like, you're just I like good people. Like, a lot of people in this business and just in general just mean for no reason.
For no reason, bro.
Like, you don't gotta be mean.
You know what I wonder about that? How the fuck do you get the money you being mean? Like, I don't like, cause I always wonder, right? I've dealt with a lot of dickheads on this planet, bro. Like in the music industry, in the media, all that shit. And I'm like, how y'all niggas pay our bills being dickheads to people? Like, I just
they're
don't.
Consistent, maybe. Huh? Maybe they're consistent. I've met a lot of people who are just not consistent.
Yeah, but I feel, but see, the thing is this, bro. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, I grew up around a lot of people that was like getting money on the low, and I always like applied that mindset, like, dog, if this nigga has been doing this for such and such years and he ain't never got, like, the police ain't never kicked his door, ain't never, but you would never, because they just good people.
They're just good people.
So, yeah.
You go, being nice and having good relationships goes a long way.
Talk about that, because relationships, bro, like, I feel like relationships is the cornerstone of success.
Facts. That's a fact. Relationships, greater sign money.
Right? That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Because a great relationship will always keep you in a position to make some bread.
Absolutely. Everything ain't about $1, man. Like, I'm not gonna ruin my relationship for some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna put myself in a position to ruin my relationship over $1. You know?
Has there ever been a time where you felt like, well, not that you wanted to, but have you ever felt like, not necessarily, because I, like, growing up, you know, that whole don't burn a bridge thing.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It is a real thing, but at the same time, it's like, I've seen, how many times have people double back on you for something they might have burnt with you?
Come on, I ran out of fingers. You know what I mean? That happens. That's just.
But my problem that what I learned, and I want to know if you ever done this, like, to not take it personal, because for a long time I took like
this business would allow you to develop that sort of attitude.
I was just telling the artist I work with, like, he was like, man, like, I just got to learn how to be, like, basically learn how to be cordial. Because I feel like there's nothing wrong with being cordial with people, because I don't know where you'll be, you don't know where I'll be, and sometimes, like, when you get in the spots, you work the room for whatever.
Fact.
But at the same time, I get the whole fact of, like, if I'm creating art, or if my artist is creating art, then fuck with the art.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck with the art, but being cordial, you can't take that personal, because just because you're nice to a person doesn't mean that something's coming out of that.
I think you could just respect the craft, though, overall.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with criticism.
Trust me, I know a lot about that criticism.
Yeah, criticism.
You can't get anywhere without being critiqued in some
that's the
sense
truth. But, like, in this business, is like, I remember when I first started out and I was sending somebody an email, they would give me no response.
No response, yeah.
And Elliot told me one time, he was like, yo, no response is a response. What the fuck you mean?
No response is definitely
That's a response. But, you know, being in this biz, you know, you develop a callus and you learn not to take things personal, not to sweat small things.
But I ain't gonna front. I feel like a lot of the New York side of the business.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's different sides of, like, just business and entertainment in general. It's like, you got the New York way is kind of wild, because, like, New York executives in certain spaces feel like everybody should come to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, y'all should fuck with me.
Yeah.
But then I go to Atlanta. LA is like that too, but LA is like, I feel like if you got the good relationships in LA and you really want to make something happen and somebody align you.
Yeah.
But, like, in Atlanta, it's just like, just being in a room, all of that is eliminated in a sense. You know what I mean? Depending on the room. Yeah.
See, I've been in Atlanta a bunch of times, but never long enough to kind of get that sense of that vibe.
Yeah.
But
as, like, people who are more seasoned in this industry, how did y'all get to a point where you knew not to take things as personal?
That personal shit wasn't paying my bills, bro.
Which I understand and respect, but, like, I've had moments of my own, not like external, where I've put it out there or I've done something to make shit change. I'm like so into my craft that I'll feel something personal.
I say initially, bro, is like, when you go to sleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, you wake up and go to sleep with your own thoughts.
right.
So how you feeling nobody, like, unless you getting on the gram and subtweeting people all day or making crazy videos on the grab talking about how some interaction you might have had with somebody made you feel, nobody don't give a fuck because they don't know.
Right.
Facts.
So I'm like, for me, I'm just sitting here like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and act like everything's fine and dandy, like I'm not affected by things. I'm affected by shit, but like, bro, like, why? That's why I asked you about like growing up in Queens, because like, bro, where I'm from, like, niggas don't make it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, niggas do not make it, bro. I'm talking about like everything in the hood growing up that I thought was regular is not regular at all.
It's not. It really isn't.
It's not regular.
For like at least 20 years, I thought going to movie theaters, you had metal detectors. Because I used to go to the movie theaters in Green Acres.
Yeah.
And they had metal detectors because I think it was E-Moneybags, if I'm not mistaken. You had a shootout at the
Right.
That's the mall we used to go to.
So that's a regular thing.
Yeah, and I used to think, when I remember going elsewhere, I was like, why didn't no metal detectors?
Bro, I mean, I grew up thinking
that sort of thing.
Growing up, I thought that police supposed to stop and frisk you. Like, I thought that, like, I really believe, like, bro, you get so used to it happening. It's just like, you know how to, like, it comes to a point where, like, you start, like, all right, when you a kid, police leave you alone. Once you get a little taller, the first time I got stopped at first, I was 12. I think I was 12 or 11. And then as I got taller, you become like this threatening figure to the police.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you first start now, you know, as you a young man, you start to get strong. You start pushing back. You know, y'all ain't gonna. And then you just know, you kind of become systematically trained to where when you getting off the train from work and you coming home, that's just a part of your day. So like, you just go along with it.
This all happened in Harlem?
Yeah. Well, the Bronx,
because he's from the Bronx.
I'm from the Bronx. Like, so yeah, it's a lot. Like, I was born in the Bronx and I moved to Harlem. Like, I was born in the Bronx. I lived there till I was 11, and I moved to Maryland for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then we moved back to the Bronx, and then we moved to Harlem after that. I was in the Bronx. I was in Harlem from the time I was 12 till 5 years ago. But I used to go to Harlem a lot because my grandfather lived in Harlem, so I used to spend summers there in Harlem and shit. But like,
I know that frisk. I just wanted to know because every time I got it stopped or whatever, was always dependent by the police in Harlem.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, no, police in Harlem, like, they violate you, bro.
Yeah,
like, I'm talking about, like, violate you.
I never forget one time me and my niggas was in the car, and we was right by the White Castle, right off 125th, and they pulled us over. Niggas said, yo, where the guns? Where the guns? It was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Where the guns? Where the guns at? I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Bro, I've literally had a cop go in my pocket, find a knife, and be like, give it back to me. And be like, you ain't got no guns? Like, I swear, like.
I had a knife on me one time. The cop, man, they was about to put me on a t-shirt, bro.
Bruh.
I had the clip showing. I was literally.
You was on rookie time, man.
Yo, I was walking across the street, right? But I had like an ox on me, like a box cutter. And you just see the clip, right?
Yeah.
The cop was at the light. I'm walking across. Get your hands up. I was like, what the
Yeah. No, cops, bro, I've had so many interactions with cops. Like, I remember one time, like, just drinking, right? So I remember one time, like, this cop in front of our building, we had a bottle of Absolute. So the cop was like, and they always say some fucking corny shit, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, this any of y'all Absolute? Everybody's like, no. He's like, well, you all are absolutely fucked. And then he took the Absolute and poured it out in front of us.
Was he
like,
plain clothes or was he?
Yeah, he was plain clothes. No, he wasn't plain clothes because plain clothes they don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
He was in uniform.
Oh, okay.
We was getting money, so I was like, I don't give a fuck. We gonna go buy another bottle, nigga. Like, we don't care about this. He's like, you're absolutely fucked, cornball ass niggas. But what I'm saying is like with the stop and frisk shit, growing up in the hood, like I thought that was something that they were supposed to do. I thought like even with even being a young man and like, I grew up a little bit different because I was like out of my mom and my aunt. It's 9 kids between all of them, and I was the only boy.
Oh wow!
Well, 8 is me, my little sister, and I got 5 girl cousins. Damn. Right? So I was the only boy. So like, I grew up. I was raised by women.
Yeah.
So I didn't treat women a certain way how you speak to them, but like how niggas talk to chicks on the corner, like I thought that was regular. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, until I seen a nigga do it to one of my cousins.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like all of these different things that we see growing up, they come from, a lot of things come from not knowing.
Yeah,
a lot of things
being
come
ignorant.
from being ignorant. A lot of things come from desperation. Like, I always feel like the whole, growing, like women is always held to this thing about them not having a father, right?
Yeah,
like, oh, like she doing this and that. But I think about like I had a generation of like a lot of my homies like didn't know their fathers or like, and they fathers is walking right up the block from them. You know what I'm saying? Or like even for me, like I knew my dad, but I wasn't around him. You know what I mean? So it's like I knew where he was at, but I couldn't see him every day. So, and even the way he was living wasn't like conducive to how I should have been as a man.
Yeah.
So it's like for me growing up now, like I became a father very young, trying to like, I don't feel like it's just like, I don't. Cause I feel like those breaking curses, like it's like these old words, like you know what I mean. But I just feel like it has to be some sort of change as to how we tell like these young men and women, not tell them how to live and not talk at them, but talk with them.
Talk with them. I like when you say that too. And you gotta be an example. You a father, I'm a father, so you know you just gotta put our best foot forward and show them the right way. My daughter ain't gonna have no damn daddy issues. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but you know what? See, the thing about and that's the thing is like the reason I always reference women with that is because we don't talk enough about the man having daddy issues, bro.
Absolutely. I think I definitely have daddy issues.
I got daddy issues too.
You
Like
know what
I mean, me and my dad got to it. Like we got closer. Like me and him got closer once I became. I think once I got over a certain age, and then once I became a father, like we got closer. But like. Yeah, man. I be like the daddy issue shit because I got a lot of friends, and I'm pretty sure you do that, made the wrong choices and went to prison and still in prison or gonna be there for the rest of their lives. And like I feel like if we highlight that those are daddy issues, maybe it could change some of the young men out here.
Yeah, that's why that's why I give props to people like you, even myself, and anyone that's doing it on a good level, because it's like the younger generation can see someone who's older and it's cool. Like Wayno's a cool guy. Like he's doing it by the book. He's getting money. He has a job. He's a father. Like you're an example. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, my dad, you know, for better or for worse, he was an example for a lot of people in the community because he was older, way older, and I think that's the reason why there was a generational divide. Right. So we couldn't relate on a lot of different topics. I was scared of my dad growing up too. Yeah. Like,
I was scared of my dad too, bro. My dad, because you know what it is though. My dad was in the street. Yo, my sister was in the same class as Fat Joe in kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
So my dad grew up on, well, my dad, I can't even say grew up because he ran like Boston Road and like Fat Joe and all these niggas, like all his homies grew up seeing my dad. My dad had the fly cars, all that. Like yo, at my dad's funeral, people was telling me like, yo, this nigga was super fly for real.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, you see some of the pictures, right? So it's like with my dad, like the reason why I was scared of my dad was because like my uncle stole some bread from my dad. And I was like, I'll never forget this shit. I was like 4 years old. My dad beat this nigga up in front of me. Wow. But like, he didn't beat him up like he was his brother. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I always had that in my dad never hit me once in my life, but never hit me, bro.
Man.
But when I tell you this man had my heart, bro, like, my dad used to talk loud to me and I would cry.
Damn.
But once I got to this one age though, when I was 22, bro, I tried to fight my father, bro.
Oh, man.
And he was like 40 something, probably 50 something, but he would have beat my ass, but like, he didn't. He just laughed at me. He was like, oh, you crazy. Like, because you know what it was, bro? I was going through some shit with my mom. Yeah. Like, and like, if I'm venting about my mom, I can vent about my mom, but you can't say nothing about her. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he said some shit about my mother. I was like, nigga, don't say nothing about my mother. Nigga, you crazy? Like, and then he was like, I just, you know what it was? Everything I ever had that I ever wanted to say, I said. Like, I violated my pops, bro.
Yeah, like a he got game moment.
I told my pops suck my dick.
Oh my!
I swear to God, I told my pops.
I gotta go.
Nah, that ass.
What?
Because you know what it was? It wasn't. It started with the instance of. And this is my daddy issues though, bro.
Okay.
It started with the instance of this shit with my mom. But through that, like through that, what it was like, it was a point in time when my mom had my dad gave my mom some bread. We was coming out the shelter system. Okay. And like, I'm cool with sharing this type of shit because when I was a kid, I couldn't. But like, we was coming out the shelter system and my dad gave my mom some money for us to move. And like he always would, he wouldn't throw it in her face, but he would always like say something like, "You ain't never like shit. You ain't." But my dad got 8 kids, all different baby mothers, and my dad and my mom is the coolest ones. So he never really was like that with her. But like I said something about how I was feeling living in the crib with her, and he said some shit like, "Yeah, cause she ain't." And all that came up in my mind is like, bro, like, nigga, we like my dad was getting money. I'm talking about, yo, bro, my pops get money, my nigga, and like. As a man and as a father, I was like, how dare you? Like, me and this nigga got the same name. We look like I
look the same too.
We look exactly the same. And me and him is the closest out of all his kids. Wow. So I was like, nigga, how dare you say something about my mother? Nigga, like my mother ain't never taken me to child support. So I went crazy. And this nigga got out the car. We was in the car together. And I was standing in front of my building. I was like, you want to fight? Like, what's good? Like, he got out the car, and that nigga he got out the car, walked around, he stood in front of me, and he looked at me, and he laughed and got back in the car and drove off.
Oh, man.
But no, like 2 days later, I called him and apologized.
Oh, man, you told us. Pause. That phrase just, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, that phrase is crazy.
I hate that, not to, because I know.
I hate that phrase.
Yo, I hate it when the newer generation, they say that shit.
They say it jokingly. They say it all the time.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah.
But go back to...
But no, bro, it just was like, that's what my issues with him was, because it's like once I became a man and I knew who my father was, because I didn't know who my father was in the street when I was a kid. Okay. I had an idea because people he did a lot of shit, but like once I became a man and I was like, nigga, you supposed to be like Future when these niggas make sure every baby mom got the house, like everybody taken care of, you know what I mean? And it's just like it contributes like that type of when you don't. I mean, he's his own man, so I can't tell him what to do with his bread. But like when you don't take care of what you put out in this world, it does come back to you. You know what I'm saying?
My dad growing up in Queens, like I said, I was scared of my dad. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a generational divide. My dad is from the South, like segregation, colored only.
Oh, he don't take no shit.
Zero
he takes
shit.
No shit.
I never forget.
Where's your dad from?
He's from North Carolina. He's from a small town called Maxton, North Carolina.
My family's from North Carolina. My family's from Fayetteville.
Oh, okay.
That's where my family name comes from. So all my family is still down there.
Everyone's probably related somehow.
Yeah.
I never forget, my dad is zero tolerance from, especially from women and kids, right?
Yeah.
I never forget one time he has an office, and a real estate office, and you can see the streets or whatever. And this woman, he doesn't know this lady, was arguing with her son, and he just wasn't listening, right? My dad stopped his conversation with whoever he was with, got out and smacked this kid. wait. And so did your mama tell you to stop? And
he smacked the kid that he didn't know.
I was like, yo. And his mom was like, thank you, son. Like, he don't listen. I was like, yeah. They went back. It was like, in American Gangster when he went to go shoot the nigga and came back.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
Or like Pootie, it was a movie. It was an instance like that in Pootie Tang, I think.
Right. Like my dad was zero tolerance. Right. He was that kind of person. And in South Jamaica, he's well respected. Yeah. So my dad used to beat my ass growing up. I wasn't a bad kid, but it's just like he struck fear in me because he gave you that look. Yeah. You raise up. You already know what time it is, man.
So that kind of, cause I ain't gonna lie, like it. I would discipline my son physically. I don't hit my daughters, right? I would physically discipline my son, and it got to a point where I said, "Nah, I can't do that." I stopped because I started. You know how I started to think that, like, disciplining your child, like I get it, but like it's still violence. It's still domestic violence. Like, for real,
That's
bro.
funny to hear you say that, though. Like, this, like, because the way I used to get my ass beat by my mom and dad.
My mom used to whip my ass.
Right.
So my mom done hit me with a bat before. Like I
got that.
Yeah.
I didn't get the bat. I got brooms.
They might be from West Indies. So So my mom's side of the family, they I found out from Dominica and Montserrat.
Okay.
Right. So like. But like we all, like my mom was born here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? My grandmother was born here, but my great grandmother, she passed in 2008. She was 104.
Wow.
But she was like meanest West Indian lady on the fucking, and all old West Indian people was mean. Right?
Super.
So like my mom, bro, like like my mom didn't abuse me.
Right.
But it's mad times where my mom could have talked to me.
Okay.
I think back.
That's fair.
Like, but at the same time, I can't imagine how my mom had me when she was 21 years old. So I can't imagine what it's like at 31 when now I'm 10 and I'm feeling myself, or 13 when she's 33, and because I'm these ages now.
Isn't that something crazy?
It is crazy. But so like with my son, right? Like the shit with my son, specifically my son, I said that I told him, like one day I said, yeah, yo, I ain't gonna put my hands on you no more. And then I caught this nigga smoking weed. You know what I mean? So yeah, I put my hands on him like after that. But like,
this is my picture, right? He's in the crib smoking in the room. Wayno busts open the door.
Oh, nah, it wasn't like
what is this? Not in my house.
Nah, it wasn't nothing like that.
Smoking a reefer.
It wasn't even that. Yo, what's crazy was it wasn't even him the smoking weed, bro. It was just that, like, one thing about me is that when my mom had to drop on me, I would admit, like I was scared of my mom. So like, my mom was the mother that whooped my ass in the school in front of teachers.
Oh, you got that too?
Of course, nigga. We born in the 80s. Everybody got that.
Parent-teacher conferences?
Oh, parent-teacher conference, nigga. My mom whooped my ass at an assembly, my nigga.
Me too.
In front of the whole school.
Me too.
So,
oh my.
My mom gonna see this like, I didn't do that. Yeah, she did.
Yo, my mom's. Yo.
So look, bro, like my mom.
We gotta talk about this off air.
Yeah, absolutely. So my mom, right, like so. The thing with it wasn't that like like I said, my mom had to drop on me.
Yeah.
It was like, just tell me the truth, and I still got my ass whooped.
Right.
But like, we had to drop. Me and his mother had to drop on this nigga.
Did you tell that story?
No, I never. I don't think I did, but it didn't come out. So what happened was I was in the studio.
It's crazy.
I was in the studio with Sada Baby. And his mother's texting me. She's like, I'm gonna whoop your son ass. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, cause I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm the parent that's always trying to save my kids. Like,
is this in New York? You in the studio?
Yeah, I'm in the studio in New York. And I live in Jersey.
Right.
Whatever. So like, I'm like, what happened? She's like, he was smoking weed. I'm like, nah. I'm still saying to myself, like, that nigga ain't that dumb. Like, you know what I mean? Nah, he ain't doing that. So he was with his friends. His best friend's mom has like, I don't know what app she has, but she can see everything this nigga does on his phone.
Wow, okay.
It's like the same shit that they put on James St. Patrick phone in Power. Right? So his friend is on Snapchat. And of course, you know, the timeline. These niggas gotta be doing everything.
For the timeline.
That look cool.
My son is not smoking, but he's like, his man is smoking, and my son is like, yo, pass that. Like, niggas put work in to get that. So I'm like, what? Like, so I tell Sada, I'm like, yo, bro, I gotta go.
You need a whole lot of choppers.
Right. I leave, I go to the crib. So she's sending me more videos. This nigga's on the floor rolling around. Honestly, it's taking me back to the first time I got high, which is around his age.
Okay.
Right? But what doesn't make the shit any better is because even though I don't smoke, which everybody still doesn't believe that I don't smoke.
Right.
I believe it.
I smell like mad bud because I'm in the studio. So I get in the crib and he comes downstairs and I'm like, yo, my nigga, I'm gonna give you one shot. I'm gonna give you an 8 Mile shot. Like, this the one time I'm gonna give. Did you do anything this weekend that you wasn't supposed to do? That nigga, he looked at me. He looked me and his mother dead in the face and was like, nah, like what? You know what? Them niggas that's on First 48 that killed 20 people and they on camera and they be like, hell no, I was at my girl crib. I didn't. Yo, his mother was like, oh no, like Keisha was like, no, oh. I was like, yo, I'm gonna ask you one more time.
Wow, you gave him a second chance?
I gave him a second. I said, see, I had the videos.
Oh yeah.
So he like, so I'm gonna give you one. He don't know that we got the video, so I'm like, I'm gonna give you one more time. He's like, nah. I go on my phone, I'm like, nah, I can't wait. I go on the phone and I'm like, this you?
Yeah.
He just was like, yo, nigga, he turned white, bro. Like turning white is not literal, it's figurative. Like he looked like it was a lion running into the house and there was nothing he could do. I ain't gonna talk about how his night went.
Oh man.
I broke his PlayStation into 100 pieces.
Damn.
That's probably the worst you could have done.
Because the thing about me, bro, is I got money, so that material shit don't mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
It wasn't about what he had done.
It's the lie.
It was the lie. Because of course, everybody who lies tries to get away with it.
Yeah.
Granted. But you knew that something wasn't right. And if you don't nip that shit in the bud now, it happens later. Like he did another lie, bro. That it wasn't that bad, but it's like, I'll say it real quick because you know I go along with these fucking stories. But like, I bought a fucking a thing of pickles paws, right, from Costco's.
That
right?
was the pause?
That was the pause.
That's a 1 out of 5.
Yeah. Right. But like, it was a lot of them.
Yeah.
So like the next day, I go to get one, and it's a Ziploc bag with like 10 pickles in it. And I'm like, I'm start flipping. Which one of y'all niggas? Because I treat my kids like they roommates. I don't treat these niggas like they my children. I treat them like roommates. Which one of y'all
don't
drop the fucking thing?
Oh.
Cause I knew it, bro. I'm not stupid.
Right.
Which one of y'all dropped the shit and tried to put it back? So I asked my daughter, I'm like, yo, Tay, you did? She was like, no, I didn't do none of that. I asked Logan, I'm like, Logan, you? She like, no. I'm like, yo, Kasir, you broke. I said, did you? He was like, yeah. He's like, but I put them back. I was like, but you didn't tell me. And he was like, I said, that's the same as lying. And he was like, I'm like, yo, dog. Of course I'm gonna be mad.
Right.
But I would have been so much more happy if you would have just told me, like, yo, Dad, I dropped the shit.
Yeah.
It broke. Not literally like that, but yo, I dropped it. It broke. I put the shit. I'd have been like, yo, I'd have flipped about watch what you doing. Now I'm mad that you really believe, like, my nigga, you really thought that a whole jug of fucking pickles is going and you put these shits in a Ziploc bag in the fridge and nobody's gonna question this shit and I just paid for these shit?
It was either that or the garbage. He made a business decision.
He made a business decision. So I'm just like, bro, just don't fucking, like, yeah, you're gonna, and this is what I say, like, with kids, because we were kids and we lied and all of that.
Yeah.
And everything is not going to be the most honest and transparent thing, but like at least feel comfortable enough to tell me that you did something like that. Because if you can't tell me that you fucking dropped the jar of pickles, I don't want to fucking find out that you beefing with some niggas in the street and you can't walk down this block and I one day decide to let you go down this block and it's the last time I see you. Because that's the reality of being a fucking father in this country, black fathers. But specifically in New York, it's crazy right now.
Absolutely. That's why, like with my daughter, she's about to be 8. And you know, you don't have to tell kids how to lie and things like that. That's just in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I always tell her, like, you never get in trouble for what? And she tells me, telling the truth. And I try to enforce that. So, because when she gets older and I know boys and all that stuff is going to come and play, I want to be your friend. Like, I call her my sister daughter because I never had a younger sister. But she's like the closest I have to that. Like it's a relatability. You know
I got a younger sister. I love my little sister. But when we was kids, I couldn't stand her.
Oh yeah,
because I wanted a little brother so bad. When my mom had a girl, like I was happy that she did. But like my little sister was like, what I love about my little sister is that she's not into the world I'm into by no means. Like she grew up in the hood too. Fucking did not like. She got friends that got pregnant when she was young, and she wasn't with none of that. Went to college, finished.
What's up?
In the music, like you could ask my daughter like who's the young hot nigga and she as a rapper. She's like, who? I don't like. She listened to classical music and all that other shit and all of that. And I'm proud of my little sister, but I couldn't stand her when we was kids, bro. Oh man.
But you're an evolved individual. But I'm proud of you now too, because now you got this new house. You could take your kids down there.
Oh yeah. We gonna be on some shit.
Are the kids mad about moving, or how they feel about it?
My son. This is his first year of high school. So
oh,
it's like,
damn, Wayno.
Like even though we moved out of Harlem, like he went to school in Harlem, so he been there the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But you know what we have to get to today.
Okay. What are we talking about?
So you know my guy B.Dot is infamous for like making these fucking lists.
Oh boy, here you go.
Like what's crazy about it is it really shows me how much an opinion matters because like it's really his opinion. Like the fucking ozone layer is not gonna break because he made this list, right? But at the same time, when he makes these lists, everybody gets up in arms about him. Which I feel like I was like, the last list, like we all like what I love about B.Dot is like he really don't give a fuck. So he told everybody, like, you know when you want to fight somebody, he be like, yo, all right, outside, I was like B.Dot like a bully in hip hop. So like he literally is
I am the nicest guy.
6 p.m. Clubhouse, oh y'all tell me how y'all feel. I don't give a fuck. Like, but this one, which is just the half of the year.
Yeah, I just
Can we bring it up? Can you bring it up?
Okay, so yeah, like just for context. I figured, we're 6 months into 2021.
Right.
A lot of rappers are working. A lot of rappers aren't.
Right.
Let's just do an evaluation, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like I said earlier, I think about rap and hip hop more than the average person.
You always say that you listen to rap more than the average person.
I do.
Wait, so how you come up to the synopsis? So how do you listen to the rap?
I listen to because new music comes out on Friday, and I literally listen to all the prominent releases.
Bring that joint up there, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You do sound like a bully. See you in December.
See you in December.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I have a podcast. I work in the media business, so I got to know about what's current, stuff like that. And what I was saying is, people do hottest MCs, right?
Right.
To me, there's a difference between best and hot.
Hell yeah, it's two totally different things between best and hot.
So last year I did a whole week of superlatives. Is that how you pronounce it?
Superlatives?
Superlatives.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Wow.
What the fuck does that mean?
In your yearbook, like.
Oh, okay. I didn't
the best
even know that
stuff, the
word.
worst stuff.
I didn't even know that was the word for that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I did that last year. I was like, okay, 6 months into 2021, let's see who, in my opinion, is the best rapper so far of 2021.
Okay, so my only problem.
Start from 10, if anything.
Start from 10?
Yes.
My only problem with this list is that
because no one else was doing it. So
no one else is doing it, but that's what I like about it, because this is what I like about it, because like, yo, one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a list too, and I was like, nah, I don't want my mentions being like, like I don't.
And not to cut you off, but my skin is thick like a loop dancer, like, so I can take the criticism. That shit don't bother me at all. Like,
so my only problem with B.Dot's list is that Jay-Z and Nas is over Jim Jones, and they only put out.
Well, the reason why, this is why I looked at it, right? I look at the. People are getting offended. Like when I make a list, when I make a list, right? I think about who are the real players in this game, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about your homeboy down the block or in 4E that raps.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about niggas that really matter, right? So I'm thinking about Jay-Z and Nas, and sure, they have no album and stuff like that, but they put out prominent verses this year.
Right.
And they resonate. When Jay-Z drops a verse, whether you like it or not, people are talking about it. And I'll be honest, and I'm not, you're a Jay-Z dick rider. That's what they're saying in the comments.
I want to, let me step off for 1 second and we come right back.
Yeah.
But like, because I was having this conversation about Mace the other day, and somebody said that Mace was never in his career a bigger artist than Jay-Z, which I think.
Well, he should go jump off the fucking Verrazano or George Washington.
Let's go back, my brother.
He's an idiot. You don't have a conversation.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna campaign, like, before we finish, I want to say some things about Mace, because I'm gonna fucking campaign for Mace's respect. I don't care what nobody says.
Who don't give Mace respect?
There's mad people that don't give
Mace. But they weren't there.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's stay on it.
So all I'm saying was, I think Jay-Z's verses, especially the joint he did with Nipsey, What It Feels Like, had a response.
Yeah.
Some people like the Sorry Not Sorry. It's mixed, but it impacted. I think and Jay-Z is nice. You know what I'm saying? So I put him at number 10. Number 9.
All right.
Nas, him and Jay have kind of the same output this year.
Right.
To me, so like, I think if you're doing a temperature check, Nas could be at number 8.
Are we counting Nas within the year of still
I think within the first 6 months.
Within the first 6 months of the year.
Of this
so now
year.
we taking King's Disease out of
No, we're taking that out.
All right, cool.
So then, I have Freddie Gibbs.
Who's kicking ass right now.
He's kicking ass. And Freddie hasn't really put out that much, but to me, that record, the Big Rabbit joint, over the Nas beat, he killed that shit.
And he just killed this shit on Banks' album too.
But and maybe, to be fair, I heard that earlier before I put the list out. So maybe I was thinking about that as well.
Right.
Then your favorite rapper, Drake.
Drake is one of my favorite rappers, though.
I know. That's the beauty. Like, we're going to fix that.
It's okay.
Situation.
Don't worry about it.
And then, of course, you have your top 5. You got Benny, Conway, Lil Wayne, Cole, and Lil Baby. And honestly, I was torn between Lil Baby and Cole because
I feel like that's where you're going to get the most. So, remember, Baby was on the last list?
Yeah, I had him at like number 6 or something like that. And you cursed me out for that.
Yeah, I cursed, yo. Because this is my dog, right? So it's like, because me and B.Dot, we have like, I ain't gonna front, like, our DMs and our text messages could be a podcast in itself. Yeah. Like, no bullshit. But like, I just was so big on Lil Baby last year because he had took such a big leap. Yeah. So the only thing that I will say, because this is a very respectable list.
Oh, wait, and and number 10, just Jim Jones, and people are hating me for that too as well.
But that just shows me that they're not listening to Jim Jones. Because this is the thing. When people see that you put Jim, they think that you're talking about Jim in 2006 when he dropped Hustler's Poem or some shit.
Yep.
Not all the shit that Jim has been doing over the past year, this year.
And to be honest with you, before J. Cole dropped Off Season, Jim Jones, in my opinion, had the best album of the year. I love the Fraud Department with him and Harry Fraud, and I think Jim has his album was so good. I text his publicist. I was like, "Yo, does Jim? No disrespect. Is he writing all this shit himself?" Like,
I hit Jim a few times, and I have a very close relationship with him, but I always tell him that I appreciate him outside of me, because it's like, for a lot of artists, even for most of these guys on this list, like, we know or we have like relationships with, a lot of people think that when we make lists that it's just favoritism, and it's not. Like, I'm able to take myself out of the conversation and just really give Jim his flowers. You know what I'm saying?
You have to.
Harlem aside, right? So my only, because this is my problem with the like my list. Yeah, because I had it's one of the people that I campaigned for B.Dot's last list that was. I don't think he was even on it. Lil Durk. Okay. Because as much as I love Jay on the what was it? The
Nipsey joint?
The Nipsey joint.
Yeah.
as much as I love Jay on Sorry Not Sorry,
Yeah.
fucking Hellcats and Trackhawks, Lil Durk verse on that shit. Like, so what I've been learning with myself, and I learned that I wouldn't just say in recent years, right? Because everybody feels that they should make B.Dot's list. Everybody.
It's like making a Forbes list or some shit.
No, it is, but you should be highly flattered.
No, listen, is what I don't care about as long as you're talking, you know, so I don't care.
When I've been looking at like, cause every time I look at one of B.Dot's lists, I think of like, how would I make a list and how would I pick the criteria? And again, when I talk about like my age that I am now, I think about how I was when I was younger. And I think about like how much I would have been a fucking big ass fan of Dirk right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, not discounting what Jay or none of them do, but I feel like the only way for like, cause I mean, I don't consider myself a journalist, even though I'm put into that.
It's all broadcasting at this point. Yeah.
But like, even for me to be put in that position, I'd be like, damn, it's like, aside from them just dropping this album, because I can't even really elaborate on it because I only listened to like 6 songs.
Yeah, I'm still listening to it.
Yeah, it's like I'm still listening to them. I'm listening to fucking Banks album. You know what I mean? Dirk is talking shit, bro. Like he's talking shit, and I feel like him and Baby are like, in order for them to be in those top tier conversations, they got to be put in the conversation.
I feel you, and maybe I'm coming off as a hater or a curmudgeon. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think I'm myself as that, but it's like for me personally, I haven't heard any Dirk music that made me go like, yo. Like, God damn. Me personally, maybe I'm not listening to the right records.
Yeah, maybe you're not listening.
But I have been listening to the new album, and I was like, yo, okay. Like,
yeah, yo.
That one song, Hats Off, with him and Travis Scott.
Yeah. He went crazy on that
verse
shit.
was bueno. So maybe, again, and with this list, this is halftime.
This is halftime.
Subject to change.
So I feel like even with the other list, I feel like the list aged well. Now, you know what B.Dot got a lot of flack for was
that?
No women on the list, right?
I'm a misogynist, you know?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's what he gets in with. Shout out to Raven, because Raven went crazy on you.
Yo, Raven hates me.
I love
Raven, but she hates me.
That's my girl. I love Raven. She went crazy.
Dope.
But even with this, I feel like B.Dot, because you know, this is the first time we had all seen Stove Got Cooks. Like,
this is from last year.
This is the last year's one right here. But I ain't gonna front, like, what did I hit you and tell you about Stove?
So that's Stove. You hated me. It was like, first off, niggas was calling it, they thought I was an investor in Stove God Cooks. They would call him Stovetop.
Stovetop. Nah, they was calling him everything but his name.
Right, and then Wayno, kind of Wayno was dismissive because I don't think he heard it. But then when he did hear the music, like, yo, B.Dot ain't lying.
But you know what's crazy? My other man whose name is Byron he was telling me about Stove Guy. He's like, yo, it's this nigga named Stove Guy. This nigga fire, and I hadn't listened to it. Yeah. And I ain't gonna front. Like, I was like, yo, you know what? Let me listen to this shit. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, yo, Edit. Yo, I listened to this shit. I was like, oh, now this nigga Stove Guy is crazy. I'm like, yo, this nigga was like, he's like, both of my exes is a dime and they still a dub. Word. I was like, yo, bro.
When he said light skin, all he does is talk about drugs.
Yeah,
it's like the highs and the lows again. I respect it.
Right.
And a little bit of spirituality in it as well.
Right.
And he said one time, light skin base runner. I'm Derek Jeter. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, this guy's great.
He has a lot of fucking wow factor. But see, when I had listened to Stove Got Cooks, because that day when we was on like we might have been on Clubhouse
like
hours, bro. Nobody talked about anything but Stove Got Cooked. Like, that was the only thing everybody was talking about. Because I did say I said that Little Baby should have been higher.
Yeah.
And I felt
a lot of people hated Russ being on there as well.
Yeah, a lot of people hated Russ for being on there, but I felt like this list did age well.
Yeah.
Because this list dropped December 14th, 2020.
Yeah.
Nas had put out King's Disease by then. So Nas definitely deserved to be on there, even though I felt like they gave him a sympathy Grammy.
True.
Right? Wayne, I wasn't with Wayne being on there.
Okay.
I
think Wayne had a really lot of good verses last year.
He did. I felt like Gibbs should have been on it. Remember, I was like, Gibbs should be like 4th. Yeah. I felt like Conway should have been number 2 and Baby should have been number 1.
Yeah, to me, Freddie Gibbs, that's the beauty about this list. And it's kind of like, I know you love sports and basketball. It's almost like any given Sunday, you can be the nigga.
You can move up. No, you can move up. You can definitely move up.
Like,
and I like, that's why I like with Benny, because I feel like the reason why I did have Conway over Benny was because I like Conway's album more than I like Benny's album.
Me too.
Like, Conway rapping, like the way he just was
Conway is incredible.
I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. Like, he doesn't. The difference between Conway, what I would like to see happen with Conway is this, because I had put up the Elliot had posted the tweet that I had said something about Lil Baby. Once I heard him on the J. Cole album.
Oh,
and then Conway, I seen him add, he like, nah, this the Griselda era. What I would like to see more is, because I don't feel like Conway has to make the record. I would just like
he's
to
got
see,
one though.
He does? He has all the fucking ability in the world.
I've been saying this for the longest, and I'm glad I'm saying it now for the first time on record.
Right.
Conway is sitting on a hit. I don't know if it's gonna be like Diamond or
but I don't feel like a hit doesn't. You don't need a hit to be Diamond for.
But you know, I think it's gonna be, in my opinion, a significant record with some money behind it.
Right.
I'll let you listen to it.
Okay.
I have it on. It's so good, and it's produced by Hitmaker. So
oh, come on, you know that's the cheat code. But like with Conway, I just would like to see. I would like to see his respect go up in the mainstream.
Oh yeah,
because I feel like. I feel like when you talk about a Conway, now granted, like I feel like Lil Baby is the easy thing to run to.
Yes.
But it's a lot of people that don't respect Lil Baby. It's a ton of people.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's a
Those
lot.
are that 40-year-old nigga you was talking about earlier.
Them niggas, like the nigga on the corner with the chew stick in his mouth. You know what I mean? Like him. But it's a lot of people like, yo, you know what people are saying?
In a Gino Green shirt.
Right. You know, you know what people gave me flack for Lil Baby? There's like, or I don't like his voice. I'm like, that's your fault. Like that has nothing to do with how he's rapping. The nigga can rap. But I got really excited when I seen Lil Baby and Benny together. Because I always say this. I always say that Benny, even Conway, I feel like they have the same context in their music.
Yeah.
They rap about, Lil Baby rap about getting money, fucking with the baddest bitches, spending money on the baddest bitch, fucking with all the hoes, and don't play with me. And that's all the same shit that Conway. Now, there's layers to it because I feel like Conway, they might add a certain shit, but I feel like Conway and them, people reduce them to like, they can only be like
one thing.
They can only be one thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did that with Lil Baby, and now he's moving up in the ranks. And I feel like, let's not hold Conway to his age or Benny to his age. Let's just talk about rapping and making records. And I can't wait for them niggas, those records to come.
I think it's gonna come over time. It's like kind of what we talked about earlier, like how 22-year-olds feel like they gotta have it figured out.
Right.
And to be fair, they are still new artists, right?
Right.
They're just a little bit older, but I think in due time they're gonna get what they need to be.
So I mean, because this is the new one.
This is the new one. This is just the first 6 months. They're gonna hate me in December.
I just searched up like your name.
Please don't. I never Google myself. That shit is.
I don't Google myself.
It's like cringing. It's
sorry.
It's like jerking off in the mirror.
Oh, whoa. Hey, what?
Is that a pause?
How is that?
No, that's not a
No,
pause, but that's fucking crazy.
This is like
Like
Yeah, I was just now. I'm like,
I just don't Google. I don't search my name.
I feel like this year. So all right, if we talking about like what it is at the first 6 months, I'll say what I think of the projections or what I think is gonna end this year. I feel like even though I haven't heard no Drake shit, I feel like Drake is gonna come here.
I think so. Who do you think is the best rapper right now? Like gun to your head. Who's not the hottest? Because
not the hottest.
That would probably be whomever. But who's the best?
The best right now, on this Friday.
Based off of like material right now, things like
Friday, June 4th.
June 4th, right now, I'll say J. Cole.
Okay.
I'll say J. Cole at this very fucking moment. Because you know what I love about what J. Cole did, not only with this. J. Cole, I feel like he missed being a rapper again. I feel like he missed being a rapper again. And like, bro, this nigga's really like, he's sitting there they shooting like videos. They shooting videos like it's 2007.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like right in the middle of the street. But they I mean, it's high level production, but at the same time, it looks and gives you the feel of like the first. I hate the word, the fucking feel. I hate that shit. But like, I hate that, like the essence. I hate all that shit. But it makes me. J. Cole is hungry.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he's hungry, and I feel like because for all the shit that he did, he puts himself back in the spot of like, nah, nigga, y'all can't fuck with me.
He's a rap fan.
He's a rap fan, and I feel like without knowing that Drake is looking at that like, nigga, and I mean, you know, I've been giving Kendrick a lot of flack. I've been giving Kendrick a lot of flack.
Why? Because he's been so quiet?
Yes. Because I'm just at a point now where I'm like, yo, I don't want Marvel MCU delivered music. What I mean by that is like, you know how Marvel drops the fucking trailer and the movie don't come out for 2 years?
Yeah.
I don't want that. Like, nigga, I want my rappers to rap.
Yeah.
Like, I understand it's been a hard couple years, nigga. Like a lot of people have been lost, but I want Kendrick to get back in that fucking mode, which I've heard that he got some shit coming.
I'm sure he does.
Do you think that Kendrick has something to prove right now?
I mean, he's already on Mount Olympus, right? He's already top 10 of all times. I think he proved to himself because of people like me, Wayno, just like doubting, like, where you been so quiet? Where you at? You know what I mean? So it's like he has to restake his claim in the game, you know? I think he's relaxing and taking notes, but he's definitely creating.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Something that's bothering me a lot, I ain't seen my man Meek pop up in nothing, man.
Really?
I'm just saying. I mean, he hasn't dropped so much, but
he's dropped some,
I feel like some of the stuff that he's dropped, if it could be perceived as underwhelming, it's only because he hasn't been in full mode to drop something. Like, I feel like, I don't feel like he's missed on none of the shit that he's put out. I just feel like,
I think he missed a couple times.
I feel like
Quarantine Pack wasn't it?
Huh?
The Quarantine Pack, remember he put out 3 records? I don't know if
it was the 4 records. That's the shit that he had the shit with him and Dirk, The Pain Away, and the shit with 42 Doug on there.
Was that it?
Yeah, it was that.
Was that it? Because I think he put out 3 songs.
So no, Meek has. I feel like he has had some slight misses. He's definitely had some slight misses. But I feel like my thing with Meek is that Meek is always so good as a rapper that even when he has misses, we can't count him out of the equation. Joint, yeah. It was the 4 joint.
Yeah, that didn't really hit for me.
It didn't hit. I only really 2 records.
Like, do you go back to this?
I go back for Pain. I love Pain Away, okay. and I really fuck with GTA because I really like 42 Doug.
Okay,
like I really like 42 Doug a lot. But I feel like the thing with Meek is that as much as he might not be in a conversation on like what's running that year, him being a rapper, like you said, gun to the head.
Yeah, Meek isn't whack.
Yeah, he's not whack by no means. But I just feel like he has to, like, with the year that this is gonna be, he has to come with some shit.
I agree.
And I feel like Big Sean will move up. Like Big Sean got some shit. Him and Hit Boy actually played me some shit that was crazy.
Yeah, I saw those pictures.
Yeah, man. Sean got some shit, man. I feel like everybody's just having this energy, and it might be due to the year that we just had, that they just want to get back out and have fun again.
Yeah,
I agree. I also think that's why, even though this list is gaining like a life of its own,
right?
I love the fact like how like Jim Jones or Conway are kind of like, you know, being competitive. Yeah. Like that's what hip hop is, man. It's not beef. I mean, Conway's on Jim Jones's newest album. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure there's a respect there. Of course,
Jones is on the fucking. Jim Jones is on the He's on the deluxe of slime language. Like he's everywhere. You know
right. That's what I'm saying.
He's at the, I wouldn't say lowest, but he's like at the underground shit to the height. That was a big album.
Absolutely. And I think it's important for rappers to be competitive. Who doesn't want to be the best? Like, I don't want to listen to no rapper to say, yeah, I'm second best rapper. No, fuck that. Feel like you're the best, man.
Right,
Let's be competitive. So I think if my list contributes to anyone, you know, wanting to step it up between now and December, I did my job. I'm just one person. I'm just a humble game show host. Complex practice.
Can you tap in on again? Because we've been here for so long. I wish I could stay with this nigga 3 hours, but
you gotta go count some money.
You do too. We ain't gonna go there. You know what I mean? Hopefully we make something together this year. But can you tap in a bit about the game show and everything?
Yeah. So it's a show called Complex Brackets. It's like half game show, half talk show, and it's with Complex, and it's like March Madness style, where I get a celebrity guest every week. It's music based, so it's usually an artist,
right?
And we break down the topic.
Yeah, I seen that. I've been tuning in. And shout out to Complex, man. I made a lot of money over there.
Oh yeah, listen, I go in the building. This is the house that Wayno helped build because he got a big ass poster still there.
I love them over there, man. Complex had a lot of good people, man. Nah, that's come
fire.
on, look at that. That's fire.
Crazy?
That's fire as fuck.
Like, I'm a fan of this shit sometimes. I'm like, yo, I got my own show.
Nah, that's
at
hard.
MTV. I had like a show too, but it wasn't as consistent as this is.
Yeah, I love the fact that you're able to go over there and own something that's B.Dot, because it's like, you know, I feel like you and Elliot have done like legendary work together.
This is on Complex website?
Yeah, that's on the Complex website.
I didn't know that. I swear to God.
You should Google this a little bit.
With this. I didn't know that. That's what's up.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, you could, like, you got something that's B.Dot. Like, not that you didn't have that, but I like the way that you're owning this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, and it's causing controversy as well, because I seen the other day when you had asked, was it Pierre?
Yeah,
you asked Pierre about who had, what's crazy was he said, who has the best drop?
Yeah, producer
It wasn't
tag.
always the best producer. I mean, the best producer. It was like who, and people was like, "Yo, this nigga don't respect the culture." It's like, yo, bro, like, man, like, yo, dog, just and he was like, yo, just Blaze, like, yo, that's legendary.
Yeah.
He's like, but man, like, you got to remember, he's a kid of this era.
Yep. Yeah.
Not that he don't respect Just Blaze, but I like the fact that you bridging like the younger generation with the older generation. Just
like
in the
we had
conversation.
Ski Master Slump God and talked about the best SoundCloud rapper, you know, or we've had Jim Jones talk about who's the flyest rapper in hip hop besides himself, you know. So it's like being.
Who did he say was the
He
fly?
said Fab.
Yeah, I got
He picked Fab. But it was
Fab,
cool.
Fab is fun. Fab got some misses, but Fab, I can't front on Fab.
No, you can't.
Because I was on Business Podcast, and
Yeah.
I was like, yo, bro, when I was a teenager, we stole, every time Fab did if Fab would have had an Instagram when I was a teenager,
Man.
I'd have had every outfit he had. Do you remember how important that Falcons that Falcons Michael Vick jersey was with the white and red 11s and the black, everybody had that same outfit on Easter.
Kidding me?
Everybody had that outfit.
But everybody, I remember when Fab first came out with him and Kluve, Can't Deny It, with the red, white, and blue aesthetic.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be like that. So I'm not mad at Fab, but for me, my hip hop fashion guy has always been like Nas.
Yeah.
Or like even Puff to an extent. But I always thought Nas was like the flyest nigga.
Yeah, Nas put together a lot of.
But it was funny because we was talking to Jim. You know, Jim's really passionate about fashion.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
We were talking about Pharrell and Kanye because that was the matchup.
Let's see if we can get Jim on the horn.
And yeah, that would be fun.
That's a great matchup.
And he was like, he leaned more to leaned on to Pharrell. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what about Kanye? And I was like, Kanye put out a lot, you know, put his bones in.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, because you know, back in then, he was connecting it and it was making sense.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hard to dispute what Jim is saying because he was there. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he put a lot of that shit together. Ah, look, I got my boy.
Wow.
So, Capo, I'm doing my podcast right now, and I got B.Dot right here.
Jones.
None. I just wanted to tap. Right.
Yo,
I just had to tap in with you right quick because we talking about getting fly and shit. We was talking about how personal you hold that shit, and we was talking about like when you did brackets with B.Dot.
Oh, what's up?
No, what you said? You said that who Pharrell?
I was talking about how personal you take. You're passionate about fashion and getting fly, and we was talking about the bracket between Pharrell and Kanye, and how you were making the case for Pharrell. And I was like, what about Kanye? And you just broke it down like a fraction, while like Pharrell is who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pharrell had the edge.
Yo, Wayno.
Had the edge on most of these people
Wayno.
when it comes to fashion because he does real fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye jumped into fashion, but niggas don't really rock nothing but his sneakers. Like I don't see
Right. Exactly.
whatever that nigga Pharrell does, whether it's Pharrell Chanel, he got niggas.
He got all that. Yeah.
$1,000 Chanel hoodies. If he do the Bape, he had niggas doing the Bape. Now he doing human made. Niggas go crazy to even try to find how to get a pair of human made. Like he different in that space. When
Right.
it come to
I got on the human races right now. Nah, but that's crazy. Do you got that book, Places and Spaces by Pharrell?
Nah, I ain't got no book.
I ain't. Well, I gotta get you that for your B-Day. I got you. I just, I'm happy that this is my big brother, man.
Both of them have broken to the fashion space in astronomical numbers. What Kanye has done in his little bit of time from where he was to where he's at now, especially with the sneakers, and now he has broke so many records with the sneakers, ultimately turned him into a billionaire. And the deals he's done with the Gap and took the Gap, stopped from where he was at to where he at now and shit like that. All that is definitely dope business that stems from hip hop culture.
Word.
That's a fact.
Business.
That's a
Pharrell
fact.
It's a fashion business. His shit different.
His shit.
Everything about him circles back to the fashion. Everything about him.
Word.
Everything. Well,
Down to his hotel.
yeah, the fucking hotel. I was just saying, like, man, I want to go there just to cop the merch.
His hotel make you want to get fresh. Like you don't even want to be in that hotel if you're not drippy. Like you don't even want to go get no ice from by the ice machine if you ain't got on some looking flippers. So that's the type of shit, bro. You don't even make you want to get super fresh.
Word.
But Capo, I just called you the bar view. I'm happy that I'm somebody that you answer my calls. So big bro,
Word.
You know what I mean? Thank you for answering. We about to finish out, but I just had to tap in with you.
I bet, man. I'm here. B.Dot. I think me and B.Dot got some shit next week too.
See, we still working, man.
We staying busy with
Like
this
I'm
shit.
such a fan of this shit. Like I'm doing shit with Jim Jones. Like, are you kidding me?
Listen, man, I could, I got so many stories about him that he don't remember. I'd be like, yo, Jim, you remember when that? He'd be like, how the fuck you remember that shit, bro? Like, I know Capo since I was 18, bro. I know him 20 years, bro. Like,
That's
I know
crazy, right?
He know me since I was 18 years old, for real.
Wow, man.
Yo, big bro, I'm gonna tap in with you. Thank you. Peace.
All right. That's cool, man. Like,
Yeah, that's
talk to
my
Jim
guy,
Jones.
man. That's my guy.
But Jim is fly. I always like Jim's fashion, and he's just so passionate about this shit. Not to go off topic, so I know we talk about fashion, but shout out to Dapper Dan.
Shout out to Dapper Dan, that's a fact.
That's Harlem, right?
Yeah.
I did the MTV VMAs, right? 2019.
I remember that, yep.
And I had on a Dapper Dan jacket, and nigga, I felt like a bad bitch that day. I was on a red carpet.
Bro, I still don't have
not that outfit, but it's somewhere.
Yeah, we got to find it. We'll plug it in. But yeah, man, I still don't have a Dapper Dan piece, man. You know, I ain't rich enough for that.
Man, that was fun, man.
No, but I'm definitely going to tap it with that, man. Like I think, like, yeah, especially for me being from Harlem, that's something that I gotta have in the class. But Dot, bro, I just wanted to tell you, man, thank you for being here with me today,
Thank you, man.
Like me, whatever I can never do with you or for you, I'm here.
Like, we can literally be here for like 5 hours
That's a
talking.
fact.
Like,
That's a
again,
fact.
Wayno.
Wayno, yeah, hey, we ain't
Wayno.
Shout out to Wayno. I love Wayno, man. That's my guy, man.
But I'm really proud of you. I've seen the career evolution from when you started with the former artist till now. I'm like, come on, man. Like, when you see that guy, you gotta give props to.
Thank you, my brother.
Give props to Wayno
and salute to you, bro. Because honestly, Ed and I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I first got in the media, and I used to hit B.Dot like, yo, bro, when you be asking questions, like how you ask the question, and the thing about that I love about my brother Dot is that, like, like we were talking about, like, not taking nothing personal. Because, it's some people that I might have said that to that went and answered, like, man, I ain't telling this nigga my secrets. He was like, yo, this is what someone what I do, and he gave me some gems, and I took that and ran with it.
Advice is free, man.
Absolutely.
Like, at the same time, you're a good person.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
It's just, it costs nothing, man, to be a good person. So I'll do anything you want, man.
Make sure that y'all check out Brackets with B.Dot.
Every Wednesday on Complex. You can check it on YouTube or whatever, Complex, and whatever.
Right, and we are here at Hear Me Out with Wayno every Thursday. Like, share, subscribe, leave reviews. Thank you. Peace.
Peace.